5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bonifay Banter Podcast.
Oh, yeah, boys. Bonifay Banter episode. Where are we at now, Shane? This is episode
Number 4.
Number 4 right now. And this is going to be a good one. Two of my great friends, Shane's good friends, Erik Ruck sitting across from me, Danny Harf to my right. The first of many pointless episodes.
Yes.
What's up, boys?
Yes.
Peeps, I need to jump out and say this right away. That intro song like really brings me back to like PB in a Durango, Busta Rhymes on, just like break your neck.
You're right, dude. I never really connected that. That's pretty much just old 17-year-old me right there.
When I heard it, I definitely could tell PB made it. I was like, PB definitely had something to.
I kind of miss Durango PB.
That's what I'm saying,
dude. I miss that Durango too. Oh man,
You had the melted South Park.
Kenny, the bird Kenny hanging on the rear view.
Yeah, and someone at one of my high school parties like took my antenna and bent it to the side. So I bent it straight and then bent it back up so it just looked like it was just like a little sound wave going up.
Yeah, I love that we all had like some little classic cars too, like the old Mountaineer,
Classic
the original Mountaineer,
Classico
PT
right there.
Cruiser.
the Cruiser.
I mean, you know we're going to get to the PT Cruisers, and let's not just skip over the PT Cruiser
I mean,
right
we
now.
can.
This thing.
Yeah, we should dive deep into PT Cruiser.
I still stand by the PT Cruiser to this day because I got it before it ever came out. I was like an original buyer, and I thought it was going to be a cool one. I thought we were working into like the modern day bug.
Shane
Or
was
like,
early adapter of PT Cruiser.
yeah.
Well, you took a chance on it when no one else did, and no one really knew the stock of the PT Cruiser. Like you bought it, and it had some hype kind of
No,
at the time.
I
Like,
mean,
you're right. You didn't know if it was going to be
Literally
the new
within
bug.
like 6 months, it was like a grandma's car that was at every rental car spot, and I was like, "Oh, this was a bad call."
But it was a penny stock. You took a gamble.
yeah, you take it. You got to sometimes, and you know, I thought it paid off. I think people will always, when you see a silver PT Cruiser, you think of me.
But you know what really kind of probably worked in your favor is that 6 months after the hype, when it became a grandmobile, it's you and Francois rolling in it.
Hey, me and Francois brought that stock up a little bit. If it was a penny stock, we gave it a nickel.
But what I'm saying is, by that point, you guys were rolling low profile and under the radar because everyone was like, "Oh, it's got to be a grandma, not."
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, with two
not two
sketchy
sketch
kids
balls.
going around and
Yeah.
rollerblading.
And I can guarantee you, most of the time that I was rolling around in that thing, it was we were rolling pretty dirty.
Yeah.
And let's tap into D's
I
old
ha-
school.
Yeah,
old school cars.
I have a PT Cruiser story while we're on the topic.
Oh, I love this one. I already know where we're going with it.
So me and Shane, I still didn't have my driver's license when me and Shane first started hanging out. Shane had just got the PT Cruiser, and he picked me up from my parents' house, Lake Willis, and we're at a red light. We're supposed to be in a merge lane that's supposed to keep moving. We're turning right. Shane's supposed to be in the merge lane, but we see some girls across the intersection in a PT Cruiser.
Oh no!
Yeah.
At this time, there was not a lot of PT Cruisers on the road. So
No.
me and Shane were putting out the PT Cruiser vibe to these girls across the intersection.
Literally honking.
Meanwhile, we're stopped in a right turn merge lane, and we get rear-ended really, really hard.
We are honking and like flashing lights like to get their attention, and we like, oh yeah. And I think as soon as we got their attention, a car that was like looking for oncoming traffic, because why would there be a car in the merge lane that's just smokes us right behind? Boom, hits us super hard. Danny goes, as soon as we pull off to the side, Danny goes, "Oh man, my Mountain Dew." Like he was taking a sip of his Mountain Dew and spilt his Mountain Dew, and I'm like, "Your Mountain Dew? I just got rear-ended." Like, dude, oh.
This was probably like 99.
Yeah, I'd say
So we
probably-
were drinking a lot of Mountain Dews. I was bummed
Yeah.
about my Mountain Dew, but we were trying to wave at the girls
And
across the
100% the girls saw the impact.
Well,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
even better is while we're on the side of the road, like their light now turns green and they turn left and they drive right by us and they look at us and we're like, "Oh, hey, yeah." And they look and they turn and they're like waving. And as soon as they wave, they fake get hit behind, like as if they just saw.
No.
Yeah, they mocked us.
clowning
They
y'all.
mocked us right in front of
Damn.
us and then kept driving. And I was like, there's gonna be a day that like I'm tell this story and the person like on like behind me at the bar is going to be like, that was me and my friend in the other PT Cruiser. And I was like,
I can't see a PT Cruiser,
I mean,
a
what-
silver PT Cruiser, without thinking of me and Shane getting rear-ended.
What a trifecta of horrible events. Like you get rear-ended. The girls mock you, and the worst of all, Danny spilt his Mountain Dew.
the worst of all. Yeah. No, the best was like, I was shocked. This is the first car accident. Actually, we've been in another car accident before this point.
We've been all while you were driving, we've been in multiple car accidents.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well,
the
let's
Mountain Dew.
yeah. There's going to be a lot more episodes with Danny and Shane on it, so
We'll
we'll do one PT crash an episode.
We'll bring the Volcom Stone up next time.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
not give him the iPhone 8 before we give him the iPhone 3 first.
Exactly.
Talking about stocks, Shane, I was just thinking, like, when you were talking about penny stocks and stuff. What do you, if you bought stock of your Tootsie Roll trick and board pants back in the day, 1997, 98, what would be worth more today? Because they both got a little bit of hype.
Well, what's crazy is they actually, if you would have bought it in stock in it when they were invented, it would have killed for a little bit. It would have been like crypto. It would have killed for a little bit, and then it just would have plummeted and disappeared, and you would have been like, why did I ever buy stock in this? And then out of nowhere, it's starting to come back. It's starting to come back. So it's like, man, you could have made a pretty penny, but I don't remember what the question was.
Well, if you bought what's worth more, what's worth
What's
more money
more?
today, board pants or like
The
Tootsie Roll?
The
I was
Tootsie
going to
Roll.
say that.
The Tootsie Roll
I
has-
would have invested in the Tootsie Roll.
The Tootsie Roll has kept a little bit of momentum, and it's like not the most liked trick, but people do it. People do it.
Let's pause. The Tootsie Roll is a trick that Shane invented in '97. It's a front roll with the backside 180. So when we're talking about the Tootsie Roll, we're not talking about the actual chocolate.
Yeah.
We're talking about the trick that Shane invented. Some people know what we're talking about, but some people don't. They're like, dude, I would never buy stock in the Tootsie Roll, like the chocolate one.
I mean, I think this Tootsie Roll stock, the candy, is still probably pretty strong.
It's almost.
the first one after candy, so I thought I should probably name the second one after candy.
Actually, if you bought stock in the candy, it probably would have done better than Shane's wakeboard trick.
Yeah, that's an interview that Ruck was just doing. That was an interview in this all kids wakeboard video, and Shane gets asked a question. He's like, "Why'd you name the trick the dum dum?" He named the trick the Tootsie Roll and the trick the dum dum. And I named the first one after candy, so I figured I'd name the second one after candy too.
Hey,
So
and
go
just-
back. You were explaining the Tootsie Roll is a front roll with a backside 180.
Backside
Yeah.
180.
Dum Dum, front roll,
Dum
backside
Dum's another
360.
180.
Yeah.
But Shane had a sugar addiction, so he named his
I had a
trick
sugar
after
addiction.
candy.
Really liked candy. Loved a Dum Dum. Still respect a good Dum Dum. A Dum Dum, the lollipop is like it's what you get whenever you leave the dentist or the doctor or whatever. They give you a little Dum Dum, but it's still respected. Great flavors.
I feel like you don't really see them around as much anymore.
I do.
That's a
I
good business plan.
I buy them for Halloween every year for the kids
I
because
haven't
I'm
seen
like,
Dum Dum in a while.
Yeah, me neither.
you guys gotta keep your eyes open. You ain't
It's
hitting that
Oh,
candy.
I have a
aisle.
4-year-old. Their Dum Dum's still going
Yeah.
strong.
Shane, your dentist, which was they would give you a hard
That's what I
lollipop
was
when
gonna
you
say.
left after getting like cavities filled.
Because then they're like, he'll be back.
That's a good business plan.
It's a great business plan, and it worked because I still am going to this day. Just went like 2 days ago.
Dude, Shane and I went to the dentist one time, and we haven't been in like 3 years. And we were little, well, you're usually pretty good at going. We went one time, and I want y'all, everyone listening, take a guess on how many cavities Shane had when he went to the dentist on this one time.
Well,
I'm gonna give you a second to think.
Yeah.
I'll give you 5, 4.
Hold on,
Guess. I'm saying guess higher than you think.
Yeah, and it's not 5. 5's a lot.
I know the
It's
story,
not even
so
7.
I'm not going to ruin
Well,
it.
I hope everyone knows how many teeth you have in your mouth.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I think it's 32.
I was going to guess 27.
I think 26.
I don't know why it would be an odd number.
I was 26 unless you're from Polk County.
I don't know exactly, but
Shane.
it's closer to that end.
Yeah, it's on the high end. It's on the high end.
Okay, so Shane goes to the dentist, comes out. Shane has 16.
17.
Sorry,
17.
17. Shane had 17 cavities.
It took like a few months to fill them all. It was like 4, 4, 4, and
And
5.
five.
Yeah.
He also invented the Tootsie Roll and the Dum Dum.
Yeah,
so, like,
it's like
It's true.
You can't be mad at him.
I feel like the dentist knew who I was and knew what tricks I invented, and he was like, "We can just make up cavities. This kid's totally gonna believe it. He's been eating Skittles and fucking Tootsie Rolls for the last 15, 20 years."
The dentist should use that as like their marketing poster child.
Oh,
This kid loves candy,
I
tons of
sent that-
cavities, but he's still naming tricks after candy.
That dentist's kid owes me a high five because I sent him to college.
Can we talk about how bad 1980s cavity dentist kind of like fillings were back then?
I mean,
like
we
they would
don't
put
need
these
to get
big
into it,
silver
but-
things in your
Oh,
mouth.
yeah.
These things pop out 15 years later after they just filled out your whole tooth, and then they just like flake away. Then you get a crown. Then the crown pops off. It's like, I swear
Did
they
you get-
concepted this like concept. It's a vicious cycle.
Maybe it's just the Bonifays have really bad teeth or really fragile teeth.
Well, it was a pretty typical thing to walk into your bedroom and see a Coca-Cola on your nightstand.
Yeah, well, you owned a Coca-Cola machine because of the Bonifay Ski School. I would drink Coca-Colas all the time.
Man,
It's a thing though. Some people just do have soft teeth, so it's not like.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take that over the fact that I was drinking Coca-Cola.
And you had soft teeth.
Yeah, and I had soft teeth. No, there was a lot of cavities. Still running into problems. Got to get a tooth pulled soon. We'll figure it out.
Shane, hypothetical, you just landed a new trick. What's the name going to be?
There was the idea of I wanted to do the blind Pete before this guy did it.
What a dick,
But I
man.
did learn a toe side roll to blind in hopes to learn the blind Pete because I wanted to call it a Baby Ruth
Oh,
because a
how that-
Babe Ruth is better than a Pete Rose.
I like that.
And
That's
I was
nice.
like,
Yeah.
and a Baby Ruth is a candy.
Is
It was
Babe
like,
Ruth better than Pete Rose?
fuck yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Nobody
y'all are
will
tripping.
even argue that. Maybe not as good at gambling, but Babe Ruth was definitely a better baseball player than.
His
Pete
home
Rose.
run record.
Maybe
got
home
broke.
runs. Maybe home runs.
Yeah, no one's beating Pete
Dude,
Rose's
the dude
record.
was like smoking cigars on the field. He was a better player. If he
Well,
just didn't
that's
give a
kinda
shit.
like-
That's
What
like
was Pete-
Byerly or Dean Lavelle.
Pete Rose had the most RBIs or something?
most hits.
Most hits, most overall hits.
Yeah, and they're saying it's a record that won't be broken
Yeah, but he's not allowed in the Hall of Fame because the boy gambles on himself.
on the other team,
Hmm.
hypothetically, theoretically.
Theoretically, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I mean Babe Ruth is. You can't really compare Pete Rose.
The
to
salt,
Babe
the
Ruth.
SWAT.
Great Bambino.
I love that little Sandlot reference.
That might be one of my top 3 movies of all time.
So
Sandlot.
classic. So classic.
Damn.
Wendy Peppercorn.
Oh, you gotta love Wendy Peppercorn.
Who didn't?
Squints.
Squints. Squints was the best. Sorry. I know we're getting like this is just off top, and I love it. I love how we can just.
If you haven't seen Sandlot, for all you millennials
And younger.
and younger, if you haven't seen the movie Sandlot, do yourself a favor.
It's a damn good one.
I'm surprised it hasn't been made in like a remake. Like the studios haven't tried to remake
So
it.
glad they
No,
haven't.
me too. But you
So
would think
glad.
that they try to remake everything, you know. And Sandlot was such a classic. They're like, let's get another 4 kids or little baseball team full of kids.
If they
into
just
this
put it
one.
on YouTube, kids would watch it.
Oh yeah,
It's a good.
I
movie.
would watch it.
You just turn it into a bunch of shorts.
Part
37.
Sandlot was a good movie. I watched the Sandlot a lot growing up.
Man, there was some good scenes in that.
Let's address the elephant in the room right now. Dan, what's up with your eye, dude? Dan's got a black eye. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. You can look at this one right here.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, this is fresh. This is this morning, so I decided to run it. I didn't want to call in black eye, so
Yeah.
Well, he comes walking into the house with his glasses on. And he takes it off, and me, Ruck, and Shane are all, whoa!
Bringing some style to the podcast.
yeah. So it's my first texting and walking injury.
No.
Solid.
Multitasking, texting and walking right into a wall. Turned around, last minute, made eye contact with the corner of a wall.
Oh, man. You must have clocked that thing.
Yeah, I was I was busy working trying to sell a boat, and next thing you know, I saw stars. I hit my head really hard on the very corner. Just
I can't believe that.
Texting and walking. It's my first texting injury.
First man to do a 1260 walked right into a wall.
KOs himself walking into a wall.
You were probably concussed.
So after you ran into the wall and you don't have a black eye yet, but when did you know you?
A good friend of mine saw me do it, and he thought I was literally joking. I like hit the wall so hard and turned around and walked straight into the corner.
He
of the
thought you
wall.
were doing a bit.
He thought, he thought I like put my
Classic
I
joke.
put my hand up and was like pretending to hit the wall, but no, I just
Where's Ashton at?
texting and walking, multitasking. You know,
It'll happen.
straight into the corner of the wall. It's my first texting injury. I haven't. You know, texting and driving is dangerous, but so is texting and walking.
Damn, dude. Watch out for those parked cars, dude. They're going to get you.
That's why I just voice text. Half the time it's wrong and just completely
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't check it. Don't proofread it.
You know what? I
Just
think
send it.
Mossy FaceTimes around you enough to where your filter of being annoying, like when you do that, is like completely gone. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
like you're able to do that in a like crowded group of people, and maybe you're a little bit unaware of it just because Mossy constantly FaceTimes like 3
Yeah.
feet away from you.
I've just detuned. But see, the thing is, I'm talking in English and he's screaming
Yeah,
in
it's-
Italian.
Half Italian, half English. That you're just
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you're saying. I don't even know what he's saying most of the time, anyways, because he gets so excited. He's just like, you're just like, I love it, Mossy, but I didn't understand a few words there.
Oh man, you should have heard Paul when we had him on the podcast a little bit ago. He was he can't remember La Familia's name. La Familia. It's the best.
That's
dude.
a tough one.
I love the fact that all the La Familia boys are going to be in Winter Haven. They're going to end up going to
Oh,
Old
yeah.
Man Frank's or
They've
Caribbean
already
Bay.
been there.
I know, but they are going to run into Uncle Paul and have a blast.
Is that the scoop? They all moved out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I went down there last week and hung with him and checked out their spot. Tyler got a house that was built in, what, like 1929 or something like that? A huge old school fixer-upper.
He bought it.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome.
And there's 7 of them living there.
Oh my god, dude! That poor house, dude.
Dude, that thing can't, it's not going to be able to withstand it. Like, that needs, like, help, and they're not going to help it. They're just going to be raging there constantly.
I mean, all of us can have lived through that stage in our life. It is amazing, but also, like,
Scary.
it is going to be a complete shit show.
like, yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
That's perfect.
You got Luca.
Oh, yeah.
You got Sam Brown.
Oh,
Ulf Kai Ditch.
Maxine, bro.
Maxime. You got
Ty.
Donnie, Daniel.
yeah, Danny, Ty, and Mossy. Like, it
I love it,
sounds
though.
like
It's
such
like-
a good time.
Yeah, I love it though. That's like
Oh, yeah.
it's so good for the sport to have all those dudes living together.
Can you
sure.
imagine if we all got to live with each other during like the pointless heydays? Man,
Oh.
I mean,
damn, that would have been. I mean,
we kinda did in
We
a
kind of
way.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, but like not really. Like
Not literally
like a
all
big-
6 of us.
It's
yeah.
almost like
I mean, on
almost like the
Hiawassee,
YouTubers-
it was Ruck, Parks, me, Chad,
yeah.
Watson on the other side.
No,
Yeah.
but it's still, everybody had their own
Jeff
houses.
here, Ike.
and-
Jeff here, I yeah, that's true. Damn, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, but it's still just in the household, the shenanigans that would just go down where you don't get to go home and step away from everybody. Like I think it's going to become like they should set up a TV like show and just
Oh, trust me,
live stream.
Donnie's going to be
live
documenting
stream.
this.
Yeah, he's going to be documenting.
No, we might
it,
need, like,
but like a
cameras. Rig
real
this thing up,
live
like-
stream reality show of this shit.
You think like
because
Love
it's-
Island kind of stuff?
Hey, Ruck, can you line me up with one?
I got you over here.
Oh, peeps, you guys got one over there too, I think. You guys are double lined up.
Beers are easy to come by in the old Banter studio.
Which I haven't,
I'm loving
just-
the Banter studio. It looks
that's
awesome.
exactly
you
what I
guys.
was going to say. Look, you guys killed it.
What do you think your favorite piece around is? In any of the stuff on the wall?
Could be a
up on
sticker.
over there? A sticker on the old sticker board. What do you? Where are we
I
going
love the
with it?
VX1, the VX2, the original pointless, incomplete cameras,
Definitely.
and the hard copy VHS of incomplete.
Of
the
course,
original.
the solid pointless gear there.
Those are nice
there's,
pieces.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Those are nice pieces. That is a depth charge trophy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
which is pretty bad.
That's a Red Bull contest that we did in the caves up in Missouri. One of the first contests they did when I signed with Red Bull. I think it was like 2002.
2002. Yeah.
I like
And
this.
we have video of it.
like-
No, I'm just joking. We don't.
I like the blue,
It's very
pull it up.
grainy. Yeah, it's
We'll
right
pull it
there.
up.
I like the Blue Angels photo.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that.
We were talking about it with Uncle Paul the other night, and
Oh, okay.
he was sort
Yeah.
of bummed. But we will talk about it. But he was bummed
Because he wanted to be there.
Uncle Paul was there with us, and he won. It's his dream because in Pensacola, you see the Blue Angels go out
Every year,
They
multiple
take
day
up and go
practice.
out.
Like it's a staple in Pensacola.
You know it, and Uncle Paul was there with us.
give you $1,000 to jump on that jet with that day.
Yeah.
Well,
and
he should have won. He should have won double or nothing.
I told him that. I was like, if you would have done a little towback 7 off the dubby, then you would have got in there.
Off the dubby.
No, I was even telling him too that I was like willing to let him have my flight because I didn't realize how cool it was going to be. I just thought it was going to be a plane flight and we were going to go just fly around. And I was like, I've flown him. Yeah, Uncle Paul can have this. And they're like, no, Uncle Paul's broken his neck. We can't allow him to go. up
Shane
in there."
literally Paul
I was
was like so like he
was
Paul
shedding
yeah,
tears.
he was like getting like he was getting clipped.
Yeah, he was.
So like Shane was like, I'll let you take Paul. You can go. You can ride.
I mean, not a lot of people can say, "Hey, I've
We
ridden with the Blue Angels."
we had no idea what we were in for.
Afterwards, I'm now like totally grateful that I didn't let Paul take my spot because it is amazing. It is crazy. There's so much
And
that happens. But at the time, I was like, it's just a plane flight.
that was the coolest double or nothing prize.
For
That was
sure.
That's the greatest wakeboard prize of all time.
That was
Like, there is
that
another- you
that
can
was
give
the
away-
year to win.
You can give away $50,000, even if you get maybe $100,000 starts to float with it. But
I
like,
don't know if you could even buy
But I
it.
don't know, you
I don't know
can't-
if
you
can
can't-
buy a flight in it. Like, I don't,
No.
even
I
with
mean,
100
people would
I'm not
easily
saying you could
pay.
buy it, but I'm just saying like
No,
what's
but-
comparable. Like, but
People
there's
would
like
pay a lot more than $50,000 to ride with the Blue Angels.
Yeah.
it was crazy,
It was-
man.
it was wild.
You remember you landing the best trick? Was it Toback Sev?
Yeah.
Dude.
Toback Sav.
And I was driving.
You were driving, and it was the best like combination of everything that's gone. Like it was such a fun. I think we had 15 or 20 minutes for the set, and you get to hit as many double ups
20
as
minutes,
you can in that 20 minutes. And I'm trying the Toback 7 the whole time, and I'm like, it's on my toe side, and I am trying a whole bunch. And Parks keeps making the double up bigger and bigger. And at one point, I got so big that I ended up doing like just a big bat wing off of the double up. And was almost in contention for biggest air
Yeah,
too.
it was really close.
But it gets down to the last like 3 or 4 double ups, and Parks is like, "Come on, make this. You've got this. You're so close." Fall on it again. Comes around yelling at me. He's really you're getting mad at me for not making it.
You're
'cause
so
I'm
close. You're
close.
so close. And we
And
have like 5 minutes
5
left.
minutes
like,
left. Like, and that's like 2 double ups because you got to come back around. Fall on it. I think it was the very last double up we had with maybe like a minute left.
Buzzer beater,
but if
yeah.
I would have fallen on it that minute, you couldn't have got back around and done it. But Parks was, like very rarely could Parks yell at me to make a trick and I end up making it. But it happened and I made it. And since I made it, there was like the storm started coming in and a few more riders had to go out. But since we had a storm, there's Andrew that was really close to Mob 5s,
think
and there's
Rusty.
Rusty's doing 10s.
Tens, yeah.
So there's like 4 riders that could go out afterwards and still make a better trick. But we had to call the contest maybe after me or after one more
Only 2
person of
people
me.
left. Yep.
Was that the one that was at your mom's?
No, it was at the Blue Lake and Lake Wells.
Yeah.
The little sand, the
Oh,
little
yeah.
lime quarry.
Yeah.
But
that was a
anyways,
cool
I
spot.
remember going to bed that night and I'm winning so far, but I need Rusty not to make a 10, which is
He
it's
was
almost like
making
a
'em. He was making 'em then.
70%, 80%, or no, probably more like a 60% chance
Yeah.
he was going to make it.
And
Andrew's
not if he has Rusty.
yeah. And then Andrew also had, 60% chance he was going to make a Mob 5, and that would probably beat it. But I remember I went to bed super stoked, woke up in the morning, and I think it was already going on. And you like text me and you were like,
You got it.
you got it. And I was like, what?
We're going to Pensacola.
Yeah.
No, the Blue Angels jet wasn't even like on our mind. Like,
No, that
that was a
wasn't-
crazy thing. Can you think about like you were trying to make that that Toback 7 because I was like getting in your ear about it buzzer beater. You got 2 tries fucking left. Like, make this.
I remember hearing
And
that
you, like,
the,
did all
the
that on the
award
line.
was riding with the Blue Angels, and I was so pissed I didn't ride better because I was like, man, that is the coolest prize you could.
It was almost really cool too because Murray did a huge rally and one for Big Air. I did that one for Best Trick, but I did a Batwing that was really big. Like
it was huge. We got to find that. It was a Jet Pilot did a poster.
It was a Jet
of it.
Pilot did an ad of it, and it was like 17, 18 feet in the air. But it was like arguably just as big as Murray's. And if I would have won both of them, then it would have just been me and Parks.
You said you take 2 rides.
I take
You're
2
like,
rides.
fuck
I take 2
Hey,
rides.
but I was just thinking about this. That was actually really cool when the rider could pick their driver, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you haven't done that recently in Double or Nothing because Travis is a great driver, obviously, but like,
I think nowadays just the legal kind of stuff is like having like anyone come in and drive the boat.
Yeah,
It's
that-
like I think those are the good old days of like
I-
they were kind of.
I get that,
think that-
yeah.
a little bit,
but that was
think
kind
the
of a cool
hammer is
aspect
my-
because you get like on the same page with your driver. It's
Oh
like,
no, it was an awesome.
it's like driver
concept. Like,
rider team.
yeah, well, you got 20
definitely
minutes.
is.
You got 20 minutes to go out and drive any pattern that you wanted, and so you can like as
Yeah.
much as you.
While we're talking about this, I'm just going to hold up my trophy from that.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Damn, that thing's heavy, little Thor.
That's a hammer.
Jesus.
Yeah, she's thick. That's a Mjorna right there. Mjorna is Thor's hammer. I know. Sorry.
Does that Blue Lake still exist down there?
I drove by it recently. I think it's
It's still there, but I haven't heard of
Yeah.
anyone really, and I think it's lost its blue. They only keep their blue like
When
when
they're
they're
mining it, yeah.
actively digging. So
yeah.
you
It
can
has
even
to
see
have that fresh white sand.
you can even see the Blue Lake out in Hudson.
It's not as
well.
blue.
He hasn't dug out there in a while, so it's like getting more clear. When you lose that bright blue, it does get the visibility gets better, but it gets like a shade darker. It is still pretty blue,
It doesn't have because the sediment is what lights
Yeah,
it up that
right.
blue.
but
Yeah,
also
it's the white sand, but then over time you get like natural Florida sediment settling in the bottom, and it
Yeah.
turns more like a muck bottom.
yeah. And then in the hurricane, one of the last hurricanes, they pretty much he said he had a storm surge pretty much roll over the Gulf of Mexico. Is only Gulf of America. It's only like 200 like
Yeah,
yards
it probably-
away. So
it
it's
probably
pretty much
rolled right
it rolled
into
right
the
into
lake,
Dude,
yeah.
he has like blue crabs. He has all kind of snapper. He's got like all kind of like a whole different
That's
like
pretty
eco life
cool.
in there within like a year.
And
He's
it's
got
fully
all these
salty
new,
now.
I was telling Gary, I was like, dude, you got to put some lobsters in here. Can you imagine if you just
Had a lobster
have
bay?
your own
Yeah.
little lobster bay, dude? I might be moving out there.
That would be sweet.
It's such a cool lake.
That is a wild one. That's
Wait,
cool. We did it.
How come PB moved out to the West Coast? Well, you put a bunch of lobsters in a lake, and
He loves lobster. I guess.
the guy
Apparently.
loves lobster.
Apparently.
PB's living the life. Swims down and gets lobsters every day. So he's on the ocean fishing? Nope. He's got a spot on a lake. He put lobsters in it.
That'd be good.
That's pretty good.
Those
me
are
up.
called crawfish.
Yeah, we got them. Crawfish.
But like the thing is, at that point, wouldn't it be easier instead of like buying the lobster, putting them in the lake, and then re-catching them? Wouldn't it just be easier to eat the lobster that you get before you put them in the lake, and then have to re-catch them?
No, I'm just saying that you could just have them in there.
Shane sees what I'm saying.
I know. That is like it's a vicious cycle. I gotta catch the lobster, throw them in the lake, then a week later I go and catch the same lobster that I threw in the lake.
It's like
They're
like
a little
farming
bit bigger. They're a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but if you're patient, they have babies.
and they're named.
Yeah, I can imagine you putting like a Sharpie on them and naming them like certain things. You're like, oh, this is Renata right here, or this is
That's my mom's name.
I know. When I said it, I was like, I don't know why that came to my mind, but
Speaking of lobster, is Sebastian a lobster or a crab?
A lobster.
no crab.
No.
No, he's definitely a crab, dude.
Yeah.
When's the last time you
I
seen
got
some-
stumped by this the other day. Sebastian from The Little Mermaid is a crab. He walks.
No, we got to pull this up.
There's a scene
I'll
where
pull
he
it up
walks.
right now.
Don't like
He,
lobsters walk on
he
the bottom?
looks like a lobster, but he's a crab.
Nah, you
I
gotta
knew.
pull 'em up.
I don't know. I'm not.
I knew
buying
I
it.
He's got
could get
the
you
eyes.
with
He's got eyes that stick out
Yeah,
that
he's-
makes you want to think it's a lobster, but that dude's got the little
Up
claws.
here, yo, the grass is greener. Down where the ocean roll.
I knew I could stump you with that one, PB.
You did get me.
He's a crab. Trust me. I just did this.
You got the literature on this?
Yeah.
Dan, just because you see some Facebook post about how
No, I was with you. I was like 100%. He's a lobster, and then I was proved wrong. So I know you like to sing Little Mermaid songs.
you just called me out on that one because all we gotta do is mention Little Mermaid, and Parsons gonna start singing that.
You pulling this up, Shane?
The grass is always greener.
Down where the ocean rolls. It's probably the wrong lyrics.
Dude, he's okay.
It's definitely a crab. Hold on. I'm pulling
Wait,
it.
he's definitely a crab?
Yeah, he's
a crab.
definitely a crab.
Ruck's looking at it and he's doing
Hey,
it.
think about this scene when the chef is trying to kill him and he runs away.
Well,
lobsters don't run away.
Lobsters from the northeast have a pincher.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the pigs.
All right.
All right.
he's a crab.
All right, but if
Look
they
how tiny he is. That's not a.
No, you're right.
That's a bad pick.
That is a bad pick. What about
That's not
this
his
one?
best pick.
That's like an AI generated one.
Go.
No, but that's
But
not lobster.
you're on the image. Go to like the explanation. They'll tell you he's a sort of red crab.
He's one arm decapitation
yeah,
of being
Sebastian
a lobster.
from Disney's Little Mermaid is a crab.
All right.
A red
Point proven.
Jamaican crab.
Well,
right,
let's not label things like that. You know, like I'm just joking.
Well, you didn't he have an accent?
He was definitely Jamaican, which is because he was a red Jamaican crab. He wasn't like a red crab that was Jamaican. He was a red Jamaican crab.
I like this accent.
Oh, he's great singer too.
Let's go down a couple little memories that probably hasn't surfaced in a while. Like what were I feel like Danny and Shane were always a little bit younger than the rest of like Grubb, than me, Ruck, Grubb, and Chad. And I feel like y'all got into a little bit of a little bit more mischief than we did. Like when y'all were.
No,
we're
really good kids.
We were solid. We never did anything wrong.
I mean, didn't y'all light your dad or your family's
did.
pool on fire and
We
shit?
did mischief, but y'all were partying. Like I remember times that I got to go to Echo Bar with you guys.
There
and,
was mischief,
like,
but it
things
was
like
because
that.
you
But it
guys
was like
were bad influences.
they were actually great influence. I will say that
I
Parks
agree.
and Rock were the best influences because they were okay with, you know, drinking and like having fun, but they were like, you got to do this responsibly. You can't
you're right,
just
you're right.
like be willy-nilly. And at 16, 17, you think you're king of the world, but these guys were, you know, 20 and they're like, no.
Me and Shane were the little bro, and Ruck and Parks were big bro.
But the mischiefs, I can attest that me and Danny definitely got into some shenanigans,
Hey,
especially at Danny's house, because I don't know if I could convince if it was that I was like like there was Bill there too, but we would push you.
There was
like,
a summer that my parents were out of town, and I was a freshman in high school. My sister was a senior in high school, and we were having parties, high school parties, on the regular. And I mean, my parents knew, but they were like, just be smart, be careful. But Shane was coming over a lot, and we definitely had some.
Hey, tying back to the original question about your first car, maybe not the first car you owned, but a memory that pops back to me that I wanted to bring up when that first question, came around was Danny in the
Hummer.
The Hummer.
Oh yeah. See, this is something that I felt like I might have twisted Danny's arm and was like, this is totally fine. We can get away with this.
We need clips.
Yeah. And that's what it was, is we were in a very CKY state of mind right now. And it was like we were watching the whiskey videos and CKY, so we were like, let's just go for it. So we did take
This
Danny's
was that
dad.
same time when my parents were out of town, for a whole summer.
Danny's parents are out of town.
99-ish, 2000.
We take Danny's dad's new Hummer, the wedgie Hummer.
The wedgie Hummer.
It was a all black Humvee, like the real Humvee,
The original.
H1.
The original Humvee. It was the one with the truck bed in the back. And
I thought it was white.
No, it was all black. My parents were out of town. My good buddy from high school was at my house. Shane was at my house. We were very CKY with the VX 1000.
We were going to get clips. So we found like a dirt road.
I thought maybe my high school buddies should drive my dad's Humvee down this dirt road, like at way
So
too
you pretty
fast.
much hijacked your dad's Humvee while he was gone, not
Yeah.
knowing, and y'all just went to go sneak it
went-
on a
with
little
pretty
joy-
much because I had a dirt bike at the time, and we used to go ride these dirt trails back behind my parents' house. And at some points, me and my dad did take the Humvee back there, and we would like rally it a little bit, but like,
But he never
this-
whispered, "Hey, Danny, you could take this."
No, that was like me and my dad thing. Me and my dad both had dirt bikes, and we had the Humvee, and we'd go take the bikes and the Humvee back to the dirt trails, and we go kind of rally around. But he was out of town. He was definitely not giving me the keys to the Humvee. But I decided, hey,
take
this is it's for the video. Like
We gotta do it.
they're gonna understand, and I justified a lot of things that way. But my friend Bill in high school, who shout out Bill, love you, brother. You were wild,
He was a wild man.
Shout out
he
Bill.
helped the antics get going.
Bill. I still talk to Bill. He's a good dude. He's got like 6 kids now.
That's how wild he is.
Busy Bill.
Yeah. So Bill
Busy
Bill drove my dad's Humvee down this dirt road that was kind of a whoop section. But it was like enough of a whoop section to where if you went the right speed, you wouldn't do a nose manual in a Humvee for about 60 feet.
Oh man,
I thought he was gonna flip
thought he was
flip
gonna
the
take
thing
us.
end over end.
Yeah.
Luckily
It wasn't
he
far
didn't.
off.
Luckily he didn't. Shane has the clip. We kind of lost the clip, right?
Yeah,
Shane?
we probably most definitely lost.
I
remember
wasn't very
seeing
good.
that
I wasn't
clip.
very good about organizing clips and backing
But
them
that
up
was a
and
clip that
staying
you
up.
want to lose. Like,
Yeah.
if I had a
but
nickel for every time Shay lost the clip.
Seriously, we'd be a rich man. No, okay. So what the best part is too is that we're like mudding in this thing, and we're like, dude, get the clip. You know, we're like nose wheeling it, but then we bring it back to the house and we wash the outside.
yeah, we
Amazingly.
detailed the
We
outside. It was
detailed.
meticulous. It looked perfect
So
on the
this is y'all's
outside.
cover up. Y'all.
This is our cover up. Put it back in the garage.
We forgot to detail the inside. There was dirt everywhere. The speaker covers were off from doing a 60-foot nose
CDs
manual.
have come out of like the CD holder,
They
and
just
there's
jam back in there.
and there's mud all under the inside, like under the
Underneath.
carriage.
Yeah, yeah.
So
My dad was like, "Hey,
it took-
truck looks amazing. What happened to the inside?"
yeah, it
I
was.
had to come clean.
It took about 30 seconds for Big Dan to realize that we definitely took this thing mudding for the afternoon. And it was like, and same with even when we lit the pool on fire. Like, we thought we could get away with that. Nobody would know. We poured a bunch of gasoline in Dan's
What was
pool.
y'all's infatuation with
Fire?
fire back in the like? Because y'all
know.
lit pools on fire. Y'all
I
lit
think we
the.
thought it
you
was
lit
our
the rail,
thing.
like grubs, like the big
we
rail
were
on fire.
getting clips.
Kickers,
Yeah,
kickers were on
getting
fire.
But we thought it was our thing that we were just going to light a bunch of shit on fire and do it.
That was
Hey,
the
let's-
crusties.
can we-
That was
can
the
we-
crusties.
can we
the
take-
whiskey videos like were pretty fiery.
Can we take 10? I gotta take a quick.
Yeah, let's do it. Too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parks, give us some
No, we're not doing
intermission.
it.
No, you're not doing it? You know, I love it. I
all right.
love this. He doesn't love it. We back. We are back. See, I told you. You
Yeah,
can
but
see
we're
on
not-
Parks' face he doesn't like the
I
intermission
love
music.
it. I
Yeah,
love
but-
it.
It's the ending that goes bum bum.
Hey, do you guys think if you guys had Tim Pelletier on a podcast, he would just hold the mic like this?
Yeah, he definitely would.
A little two hand?
Well, after a few beers.
All right. I do want to finish up what we were saying about that like pool on fire situation that we were doing. But what it was is we poured a bunch of gas in the pool and we were going to light it on fire. It's a very simple idea. Not a lot went into it.
How can you get caught for this?
Well, we got caught because it got black all around the tiles of the pool.
shit.
So
And didn't-
we actually poured the gas into the hot tub, and then the hot tub was flowing into the pool.
You had a fire waterfall?
So we lit the hot tub, but then we
Firefall.
didn't realize that the whole pool was covered in fuel also, so that it like pretty much singed the top of my parents' pool screen.
Oh, they would have been super pissed if
we
they
gotta-
came back and the screen just had melted
When
holes
when we
all through
when
the
we
whole thing.
premiered the Pointless movie, my dad was like, "That explains why I could never clean the black line off of the side of the
Yeah.
pool."
There's
He thought
definitely-
it was like mold, and he used like mildew killer for like 2 years and could never clean the
There was
black.
so many-
So
black
y'all were
line.
like 0 for 2 on trying to cover up the two things that you were trying to cover up. Huh?
the shit me and Danny did at
It's
that
a-
age. I thought we were golden.
My
and we would
parents
get
busted me
away.
and Shane for everything.
Yeah, They busted me on a lot of things.
Good thing y'all didn't murder.
Yeah.
But they were cool about
They
it.
were very cool about it, and I love Big Dan for that because he was always kind of like, Shane, I know you're lying right now," and I'm like, "I'm not lying." He was like, "I'll let you walk away from this thinking that you got."
I'll
away
tell
with
you
it."
when you're lying.
Yeah, and he was like, "But let's just be real."
That's because
I
he was a
know.
lot like us, Shane.
I know he was, and that's why he respected it. He was like, "You boys are doing something," and we did do something. I mean, it was only
Yeah, but not for a second where you pull
poured
one over
gasoline
Big D
in it.
Harf.
no, definitely
No,
not.
the Hummer and the gas thing, that's like, hey, you're breaking my stuff. So
Yeah.
not happy about
Yeah,
that. The rest,
we would even take his cigars. You remember when we take a cigar and go down, like we go to 7-Eleven?
he doesn't know that. No,
Yeah.
I'm just,
He does
Finding
now.
out more stuff.
Dan's like,
He had this big box of cigars, and it's like at 16, me and Dan liked cigars
yeah,
or something,
me and
but
Shane
we
would just randomly.
steal a cigar, go smoke a cigar.
Y'all don't even
Check.
smoke. Who even think is- you're just
We
like,
just-
what can we fuck
Yeah,
up?
we were 16. We were just trying to do things we shouldn't do.
Yeah, we were pretty good at it too.
Yeah, or not.
No, we weren't good at getting away with it, but we were good at doing it. We did it a lot.
Oh man.
do you guys remember the Little House party where Grub?
The Little House party was, or not the house party itself, but the Little House was a house that I owned across the lake from my mom. I bought it when I was younger, but like,
We always called it the Little House because there was the big house and then there was the Little House.
Yeah,
And
my
there was
mom's-
just one party there.
No. Oh, no. I'm just saying one specific party when Grub had a one of those like laser pointers.
no, it was a full on mag light.
It was like
it
a mag light,
flashlight.
and there was a police
No,
chopper.
like spotlight. It was one of those gator spotlights.
Oh
like,
yeah, gator spotlight. That's right,
like the
because we were
big-
out
the big
shining
round
gators.
ones. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a copper chopper, flying over, and Grubbs is just freaking blasting this copper chopper.
SOS in it, just bing, 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 bing.
And
Not
out
literally
of all
SOS,
the people
but-
in our crew that I think would not make that decision to like flash a copper.
These
like,
were
flame
these were early
is Grub.
these were early buddy situations.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and so this chopper like ends up he flashed it and was like a ways away, and we're having like a huge party, and all of a sudden the chopper flies like over the house and puts his huge winds
Just
coming
sets down on the
dude,
house.
winds coming down, spotlights are like on our house now. All these like we're all underage, everyone's drinking, and me and Ruck just go into like just recovery mode. We're like taking pipes and we're like stashing in the water, like in the canal. We're like, we gotta. It was wild. Dude. We were so mad at Grub that fucking night, dude. We were like, everybody leave. Everybody's gotta go. Shut it down, dude. Good job, Grub.
Yeah, the Little House was a full moment in wakeboarding history because there was like even everything that played in maybe Shafted or Free for All or not Free for All, whatever. One of Mark Bain's
Faction, I think.
Mark Bain came and filmed us and listened to Parks DJ for like 45
Faction,
minutes,
yeah.
and he was like, "We're using every single song that Parks just played in this," and it was like. It was every
All
record.
Ruckus Records.
Yeah, all Ruckus Records.
Lyricist Lounge,
Lyricist Lounge
and
stuff,
all
but it's
instrumentals, and like
yeah.
I love that I had the audacity to think that was such a good DJ. I was like, yo, I want to have a section to where I'm DJing my own shit, and when I switch songs, I want you to cut to me like hitting the crossfader.
You're like
on
an
this,
old
dude.
school-
And I love that. I thought that was a great, brilliant.
You're like
idea.
an old school BT, dude.
Because no, not even. But at that point in time, like your influences and what was going on was like
Transcendent.
you were taking. Jules just knows exactly when to drop it
Mate.
to your next level because that was your influence of being on a turntable before, not
Yeah.
full influence.
No,
but
but
it was,
yeah. I
think
liked,
back at that time.
Yeah, I was
mean,
good friends with Nick and Jules.
Yeah,
They had
and
turntables
it was
set
a
up.
cool change up from what was traditionally like punk rock wakeboard video. Like it was a cool change.
It was good.
Thanks,
and
guys.
It was,
Maybe it wasn't
and
that
it was
bad of an
good
idea.
music, but it was funny that Mark Bain and his buddy Eric or whatever,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
listened to it and they watched us.
Mark and Eric.
We were probably freestyling over it and getting hammed. Like we were just having a good time, but they watched and listened to the music and they were like, we got to get this music for the
Mark,
video.
if you haven't seen it, Mark Baim actually has really cool wakeboard videos. Like
they were really good.
Insanely good.
He had a
Insanely
really,
good.
really good
Shout out Mark
style.
Bain, dude.
Hey, I regret not riding good for Mark Baim because I didn't like Mark Baim at the time. And this is me at 16, 17. I was sort of a dick. Like, I don't want to even say sort of.
No,
I
you-
was
Just
Hey,
a PT cruising driving dick.
Yeah.
Huh?
I
You
was-
used to love to freaking throw shade at Bam.
Oh, dude, I would do it. But like looking back at the videos, and so many fans come up and they're like, I loved this. I loved like all of this shit. Like, and I was like, man, if I would have known that those were going to be the videos that like were a staple in my career, I probably would have rode a little better. Like it
You
was
pretty
just,
much you crushed it on the free for all, the U-Haul gap and stuff.
yeah, no, I did some good things, but I always remember even the U-Haul gap. I remember being like, man, this is such a good idea. It sucks that we're doing this for
I
Bam.
kind of still love Mark Baim's videos. Like I was just talking to a boat customer and they were talking about they live in California and they ride on Lake Nascimento. Remember?
Yeah.
Me and you went out there and we filmed that whole part on Nascimento with like
Yeah.
they have like floating bathrooms on the lake and it's a cool lake.
Yeah.
In Southern California.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, and those were good things. I remember Mark always had good,
Great ideas, yeah.
the U-Haul gap was like so like ahead of its time. Like
I feel
to
like we
pull
should
this
talk
truck
about.
in.
Yeah, I feel like we should talk about the U-Haul gap.
All
'cause
right,
this is-
I'll try to give you the listeners, maybe the viewers. We'll probably put up a picture, but what it was is there was this little peninsula that you could get this U-Haul truck out on. And he turned it sideways and we built a pool on top of the U-Haul. And then we had, which would have been almost like 20, 25 foot up rails and down rails coming out of this
with
gap.
sidewalls.
Yeah. So it's like this, you start in one little part of the lake and it's a big straight up.
Rope went up. Rope went straight over the top.
Rope went straight over the top. You go completely up, and then it's just this long U-Haul, which they built like a 6-inch deep pool on top of. And then right when you get to the end of it, there's just this 25-foot down rail. Awesome idea.
Well, let's and stop you right there, Shane. I'm going to give a shout out to Kyle Schmidt, who actually built this thing, and it was crazy and kind of unfortunate the way it played out for Kyle, because Mark came to Kyle with this event. With this project, and Kyle knew the spot to do it. Kyle's from Claremont, Mark's from out west in Portland, so he relied on Kyle to have this thing. Kyle lined it all up. Kyle built the whole thing, and then Kyle was the guinea pig on the thing. Before me and Shane even got there, Kyle Schmidt had already hit this thing, and I think Chad was driving. It's not Chad's fault. No one really knows how
Nobody
fast to really go on this thing, and the rope went straight over the top. So as you're going up, he was going like a little too fast.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Remember exactly where you are. Hitting a gnarly feature or a gnarly, like before winching or whatever, but hitting it where you can't take an edge and the rope is going straight above and having to ollie.
When you're 100% dictated on the speed.
Makes it extremely difficult.
Yeah. 100%. That's a good point, Ruck.
And the pool is coming. It's coming while you're on the water. It's coming from in front of you, so it's no different. But as soon as you get on the rail, it is now pulling you straight up like a roller coaster, where you're going chicka chicka
Right,
chicka.
and like
so you're getting pulled forward.
Shane, that's a good analogy.
You're
It
not
feels
getting
like that.
you're not getting pulled off
To
the
the side.
side. You're getting pulled almost into it because
It's
it's side
ma-
of the
well-
and you're getting pulled downward. So you got to lean back even a little bit
Right.
more.
So take it away from there. Yeah. So it's a mandatory 50-50. There's actually sidewalls on this thing. So you can't board slide up this thing. You have to ride on 50-50 sidewalls and go straight up top. So when Kyle Schmidt hit this for the first time, he was going a little too fast, over jumped the pool in the middle, landed on like the last quarter of it, and kind of just flew out of the pool, and he ended up blowing his ACL on the very first.
There's a shot in the outtakes.
I never saw. Oh, is that?
Isn't there a shot in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
outtakes?
there is a shot.
Yeah. I
I
thought
want to
so.
watch. I'm gonna
Well,
need to
because
watch
what
it.
happens is because you're going up and over something instead of just straight, there's more. It's pulling you faster than what you're thinking. So even if Chad when he was driving was going 20, Kyle's actually traveling more like 23, 24 because he's got to
Comes
go
off
up.
the up, yeah.
He's got to go up and then flat and then down. So there's like more It's like the arc of it, and while it's pulling you down too.
Well, he was a guinea pig too, and there was like a
Yeah.
5-foot gap on the top of it. So you don't. Do you push a little bit? Do you completely suck it
You
up?
don't
Do you
know.
like? You don't
Yeah.
really know. So I mean, and after Kyle hit it and that happened, we knew to go probably about 15 miles an hour, maybe. Like you would come
we
in
were going
about
way slower.
you would come in pretty slow, and then you would get on roller coaster up. And as soon as you're in the pool, the jet ski would fill,
But
like
also
the
suck up the up a little bit.
suck up the up, and then we were able to get all the way down. But yeah, that was a crazy project, and that was a really
One
that
of
was a wild
numerous
one.
photo shoots. I've
Shout
been
out
on
to
with-
Kyle Schmidt, man.
Yeah,
for,
yeah. Great idea. Such a bummer that was his first hit, and then that's what happened because this was his baby. Like he was going to be a big part of that section.
Yeah, 100%.
And Chad just went way too fast. We'll blame it on Chad. Can we do that?
You guys probably
Just joking.
you guys might not remember, but I was actually slated to be on that shoot, and that was not long after I hit the rail at your mom's house.
Oh yeah,
And I was over doing like gnarly stunts at the
gaps,
time.
yeah. That makes sense. That was probably one of the worst crashes we've all seen. So
Yeah, so I was like, "Hey, I'm like,
I'm good.
I need some time to recover. You guys are jumping a U-Haul." But then I remember watching the actual movie section, and you guys both killed it, and I was like,
Chad actually got a few good.
D, slide this way a little bit.
I was like, yeah, maybe I should have done that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was a cool one to be part of because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of people that come to me with Mark Boehm videos, and the U-Haul gap was always, but like I said, it was one of those
Good.
things
I'm
that,
glad we brought that up. And
but it's also one of the shoots.
You
It's
said
one
it.
of the shoots that you clearly dominated over all of us.
You
I
guys
thought we did. I
you
thought
guys
I
should
did
put
good.
you should put the clip in the video.
Yeah,
'cause,
we can go through
yeah,
it.
that
We
that was
definitely-
actually like
Shane, didn't you try to ollie the whole thing?
I did all
You
the whole thing.
fucking
I got it.
How are
I
you
think I
saying
popped
I'm the
handle.
hero of that.
I
Dude?
think I
All I did
popped
was
it.
front board it the first time. Like,
but
what,
people,
like,
you got the closer on that one, so I think it was. But I did ollie that thing. I don't think I rode
crazy what
away. I think I
sponsors
popped
paying for a
handle.
video. will do
Numerous
that.
times.
Well, that's funny that you say that, is because that I remember, like back in those days, like I rode for Blindside, and they wouldn't sponsor Babe's video, and Babe always freaking get like basically like I'd be like be hanging out or whatever, and I'd just get the brush off.
Blindside, you get like a bonus section in the credits or something.
Yeah, no, not even that. Not even. But that's how it worked back in the day.
I mean, there's a lot of I mean, those videos don't come easy. Back in the day, you had to shoot film. You're not just like
No,
you don't
there's-
bring a bunch of mini cards and just like shoot away. Like it was the production. If you rented helicopters, that shit's
Yeah.
You don't have drones.
It
Like
was-
the
it was paid
production
by
to
the
get
sponsors.
it done was a lot harder to get a video done back in the day.
I remember
And I
filming
think-
with like Artie, and they would be changing film in this like tent in the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, the effort that they went through back in the day to film a video at that
100%.
caliber was like,
and not knowing if you got the clip until you get the film process.
True.
Yeah,
I
and-
stomped it. I think we got it. The right f stop was right,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
you're like, all right, well,
We'll
Yeah.
see.
We're-
That was actually the beauty of it, though. The beauty is you would just shoot with somebody, and we knew these people, but we didn't know them that good. These were people that we would just like know. Maybe you met them the year before, and you were on another shoot. But these guys would come, and they'd like have this big film camera, and they'd be loading in this like 16 mil, and then they'd shoot something, and you'd spend like 3 days with them, and then they'd disappear, and you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see anything for
months.
and then out of nowhere they're like, "Oh, we're doing a premiere and we're going to show this," and you haven't seen
Not a
single
clip.
and you're like, and then you'd get back and you'd be like,
Oh, I
"Damn."
hate that song, but I like that clip.
Yeah.
I mean, or
yeah,
vice versa.
Nowadays, every social media it's so instant. You see it right away.
Yeah.
But like back in the day, there was there was a value to be like. You had to wait for it. You had
Yeah.
to wait for the magazine.
And
had
you
to
weren't
wait for
picking
the
your
movie.
clips either. You weren't like, yeah, no, I like that. Let's hold off on that one. You know what I mean?
Let me watch it. Stop it. Yeah, I can grab that a little better. Let's go get it. Like
Exactly.
it wasn't that.
No, you got what you got.
You got 3
And
days.
that's what it was.
And even like helicopter shoots were like some of the most stressful wakeboarding I think I've ever had. Like when there's a helicopter, not a drone, a real helicopter that is taken off and they go we have an hour and a half and 4 riders
Yeah.
to shoot. So you get 25 minutes and then you have 5 minutes in between each rider and the next, but you fall on a trick. That's, 3-4 minutes. You're like, man. So I remember doing tricks and being like, you gotta make it. You gotta make it. You gotta make it. And
The pressure of shooting with a chopper was a whole nother
so
like
crazy.
dude.
And there's
chopper
a
and
chopper
film.
there. There's a chopper that's loud. It's crazy. And the pressure to make the trick because there's a dude just hanging out of it shooting film. It's
Yeah,
wild.
drone is different than helicopter. Like I remember filming Defy, and the helicopter would literally hit you with a downdraft, and you'd be headed up into a trick, and the downdraft would just reverse your.
Well, you guys
Do you guys remember how much Chad hated filming with a helicopter? Like,
I
hated it.
Probably my hardest slam in.
He'd be freaking get out of here.
Probably my hardest slam in the world was actually getting hit with the helicopter downdraft, and like I was going up and then I was going down instantly and like slammed like 10 times harder.
Well, and maybe not Defy, but the other one, y'all had 2 choppers, so it's like double time. There's
That was
Gilgis
actually-
rolling double choppers out there.
Hey, Danny, do you remember the Roanoke shoot when Chad got super mad when he was riding that chopper at Ruck? I'm not sure if you were with Roanoke at this time, but we were on the Snake River, and Chad's
I wasn't, no.
Chad's riding, and he's filming, and he's not
throws
riding
the
good. He's
handle.
kind of falling. Yeah, he's falling, not riding good. He's getting super pissed. Chad would like punch himself in the head sometimes when he gets like super mad. But dude, and he's mad because like what Shane was saying, the pressure to ride when a chopper round is real. Like when a chopper's running out of gas and when a drone's running out of battery are 2 totally different things. Like so, Chad is just like frustrated. He tries to fall, and he like lands this trick, and he like cases, and he goes, and he like pulls in the rope. I shit you not when I say this. He pulls in the rope as hard as he can and takes the rope and slams it right into the water. The rope jumps out of the water, wraps around his head, and cinches down on his face. Chad is now, rope comes tight. It's wrapped around his eyes, and he's riding.
He's
We're
still riding
going.
with
You
the
can't-
rope attached to his head.
As a driver, you can't stop because if you stop, the rope tension gets
Chad's
tighter and it
face.
cinches. So you have to like, if he's riding with the rope around his head, you have to keep going as a boat driver. So Chad's muscling, and
This
boom,
can only
pops
happen to Chad.
Pops a right shit, dude. Pops a rope off his head, dude, and like gets in the boat. Dude's got like all this like rope burn on his eyebrows and forehead, dude. It was like, thank God it just got in the top of his head. Like if you imagine like around the like. Whoa.
I was in the boat. I think I was actually driving.
I think you might have been.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, man.
Shout out, Danny.
I'll
not-
never forget
not
that.
stopping on
Chad
that.
threw the rope down in the water. It bounced up, wrapped a few times around his face, and he's literally wakeboarding, not holding on with his hands. And he's literally wakeboarding down the lake with his rope, like his head cinched around the rope. Like
Oh man, I can honestly say I think it was my 38th birthday or whatever. I had a bunch of you boys come over and we just hung out at the house, and we didn't do anything besides tell Chad stories for I want to say like 4 or 5 hours. Like we all just hung out on the back porch, and I don't think Chad was there, but Grub, like all 4 of us, like
Shout out
it
Chad
was-
Sharp.
Dude, it was honestly like, and I remember like a day later, a few days later, somebody was like, "What'd you do for your birthday?" And I was like, "We sat on the back porch and talked about Chad Sharp for fucking 4 hours, and it was the best." Birthday.
It is
It was
amazing.
the best birthday.
It is
present I
amazing
could
how
have.
you get going on some Chad Sharp
Dude,
stories.
and
You can't. Once
everybody
you pop,
has
you can't
one.
stop.
Jim
That's the
LaRich
Pringles.
was there. Jim's got some. Grub's got the best Chad Sharp stories.
he's the funniest guy you've never met.
Yeah. And if you have met him, then you know what we're talking about.
We got to get Chad. He's pretty elusive to get on the podcast,
Yeah,
boys.
Chad definitely needs to be on this podcast.
Chad needs a podcast.
I don't think we could get Chad on solo. I think it has to be with either one of you two guys.
I think Grub
or
would be a good one.
I think Grub and Chad, like, because Chad won't come on solo. Chad will just be like, I got things to do, but you
That's
got
our
some
person.
Miller, you got Miller Lights there.
Let's
Switch the topic.
Let's get into it because if we really get down the wormhole of
No,
Chad
we're
Sharp,
not.
dude,
We're not.
We'll
We're
be
not.
at 4 hours.
We're not
You know,
because this will. There's going to be a podcast that we do just on Chad. And
I
we'll
have
probably be
kids
like,
at home too, so
yeah, we get to all of these stories.
All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is I was saying this. I think when we were talking with Grub Shane, we were talking about Danny being clutch, and I think Ruck and Shane, and like if you competed against Danny at any point, you were the most clutch wakeboarder. We were saying that like when shit mattered, like you showed up like nothing that I've even seen today. Some people are like, when Raph's winning, he's going to win, or like when Trinit's winning, he's going to win. But like when I've never seen like when the biggest paycheck is on the line, or like after you fell like one time, getting back up, like you had a Tiger Woods type of like, not only one of the best, but
Big
like
money
you
Harf.
big money Harf is what we used to call him. But
Yeah.
like, man, I just want to pick your brain about like how are you so clutch, dude? I've seen it in golf. I've seen it in everything you do. You're pretty much.
honestly, that's a great question. I don't know. I think I'm like really competitive. That's what it comes down to.
That's
like,
the root of it.
Ever since I was a little kid, my parents were annoyed that I would be like, everything's a competition. Like, we're leaving the house, I'll beat you out of the front door. Like, I was always competitive, and it's just in my blood. It's in my nature. And, honestly, I can say without a doubt that like having you guys as my friends and mentors meant everything to like grow up in the sport with you guys having my back, and like going to a contest and having you guys rooting for me, even though we were also competing against each other. Like that meant the world to me. And, I wanted to win. It's in my blood. It's in my nature. And, honestly,
I believe it.
I wanted to make some money. So
No, I believe it because I even remember like the first time we met was after an expo or whatever, and we went out on your boat and rode, and I remember you like slaying and like riding really good, and it was like proving it was. And this isn't even like competition. This is like just to show.
yeah, I think that's part of it too. Like that's a good point. When the crowd is there, like that's a motivation for me. Like I wouldn't get nervous. I would get hyped up, and like X Games, like the TV cameras are
rolling,
and
yeah.
For
And
me, that was motivation. I didn't get nervous in that moment. Like I got more motivated and more psyched, and like,
and it proves like we said when we were on with Grub. If I think it was La Familia actually, but when you fell within your first two tricks, that meant everybody else was going to lose.
that was a myth because
No, it was not a myth.
Rock,
because
you were there.
I've never seen. I mean, I've been there for fucking how many times did you do this? I've never seen anyone fall and come back like you could come back from a fall.
I think that was a myth because everyone always said
What?
that, but
You're
Well,
tripping,
what-
D.
Yeah,
100%
maybe it's a
not
myth
a
in
myth.
your mind.
No, it's not a myth.
It was crazy.
People would be like, "Oh, he fell because he knows he can come back."
No,
Like,
no.
No,
You
that's-
didn't fall to come back.
Yeah.
If you
not a-
had a fall, you'd come back twice as hard.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
a lot
'cause-
of people would be rattled in a final. Let's say like you went down on your second trick. Like for me, like if I went down on something that like you wouldn't normally go down on or something like that, I would have to freaking get myself really back in the game.
I guess,
you know what I mean? And
yeah,
you would
I-
come back
No,
and
I know what
dominate.
you're saying. I know what you're saying. I had a reputation for coming back from a fall, but it was mainly because I was like, well, nothing to lose now. Like,
Well, that's what I was saying. That's the scary part that people
Yeah.
are afraid of. It's almost like as a competitor, if someone's trying to beat you for all these years, I would almost prefer you to go out and do the run that you pretty much wanted to do, as opposed to like having your back against the wall.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if you knew you were one fall down and one trick down, your throttle was so hard.
Yeah, 'cause
and you showed, and you would show up, and you did that. It wasn't a fluke one time. It wasn't a fluke the next two times. Like when you fell early, all the riders on the dock were like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
Like,
No,
it was-
and
we
we
were
would,
like-
and we would
the
know
heat-
your run. We would know what you were planning to do, and you would fall on your second trick, and you would get up, and everything was out the window because you knew you needed to come back, and you almost, I would say like 90% of the time succeeded on coming back and dominating and like
in the heat of your
shoving it.
career. In the heat of your career. Maybe towards the end, maybe it's different.
No,
but like
for sure.
when it mattered.
I think for me it was like pressure's off. I fell. I'm like already down and out. So get up and fucking send it and see what happens.
Yeah,
but,
and you'd always succeed. It was crazy.
I mean, you won.
I mean, there was a lot of times I didn't succeed, but
Nobody remembers that shit.
Danny, you have
Nobody remembers
you
that
have
shit.
4. Danny, you have 4 X Games gold medals. Like you've won more $10,000 contests back in the day.
The most memorable one for me was actually, and you guys probably don't even know this story because it was a little later in my career, but I was living with Rusty. Me and him were super competitive, and we went to the Masters, and I had just learned like a backside 7 and a toe backside 7 wake to wake, and I was like I'd only landed a couple of them, and I fell at the Masters. Rusty had a really good run. Me and Rusty were living together, and my competitive juices jumped into me, and all of a sudden, like I finished my run like toe 9, backside 7, toe backside 7, like
shut down,
and ended up winning. And Rusty was like, "You got to be kidding me! Like, I know you."
and he was pulling you. He's your training partner. He
I know
knows
you've
how.
only landed those like once last week. Like, what even? And I was just like, I don't know, bro.
Well, that's
Yeah,
exactly
that-
what
yeah,
I'm talking
It's
about.
literally
dude.
exactly
That
what we're
was
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
Like when the I don't want the cards are down or whatever, you dominate, and it's insane. And even when there's the big money on the prize pool.
I've seen it on the golf course. I've seen it like playing
Dude,
pool.
it's
Like he's
so
like
much. He
you're right.
comes in
Like you're
clutch.
so damn competitive.
yeah, I'm
So
competitive. I mean, sorry guys.
Clutch Dan. What's
Sorry,
our next
guys.
question?
Hey,
Get one for Ruck.
Hey,
Ruck,
yeah,
what,
yeah, hey,
why are
we
you
got-
so clutch, Ruck? I'm just
I don't think I am clutch.
Hey, I wanna talk about let's talk about Ruck's yard because like Shane, you live in the hood. Everyone's been through the hood, but like you have the most immaculate yard I've ever seen. It's pretty impressive. We'll put up some photos.
I
right
drive
now.
by it every day, and I hate it so fucking much.
Shane's yard's so bad.
I hate your yard. No, I do love it.
I came
beautiful.
over and watched you trim some palms the other
Yeah,
day.
you actually did. You lent me a ladder. I went up there, like 20 feet up in the air, trim some leaves.
You motivated them. You motivated them to do that. I saw that the other day. I was
Nah,
like,
dude.
Palm looks good. Ruck, you need to sprinkle a little bit of you on Shane, maybe. And see.
Now, the thing I feel from Ruck most is in our neighborhood when we first moved in, they used to give a sign, and they'd put a sign in the yard for
Never
the
won that.
best yard in the neighborhood. And they had a sign, and you would get it, and they'd move it around. Like, I don't think it was monthly. I think it was like bi-monthly.
And you
whatever.
never got it, Ruck?
Never got it.
And they still do it to this day? And you
No,
never
they
got
don't.
it?
Still,
Oh.
no. But they stopped
This
right
is
after.
way back in the day.
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, but Ruck's yard is.
You would be the
primo.
reigning champion.
Nobody can f with Ruck's yard right now, man. Ruck's is so.
It's a
beautiful.
Zen thing.
Ruck, yeah.
Actually, I want to talk about. We can keep talking about the yard, and this has to do with the yard. But did you have a rock stolen?
I did.
You had a rock stolen, like a big rock. Like how
boulder.
much do you think it weighed?
I mean, it had to at least take 2 people to carry it.
Yeah, this is amazing. I love the idea that so Ruck had this big boulder in his front yard, and he was like, how long do you think if you had a boulder in your front yard that it would take you to
was there-
realize that a boulder had been moved?
But it had been there forever.
Yeah, but somebody came in.
It
at
was
like-
a sketchy landscaper.
sketchy landscaper came in at like 4 in the morning,
It's about 5 in the morning.
stole Ruck's boulder out of the front of his yard.
Who the frig steals a boulder?
That's hard work. I mean, almost like if you're working that hard just to steal a rock, I think like you gotta. I mean, is that a tip of the cap? Or
That's where I stand. Is
That's
it's kind of
what
like
this guy. I put it in on the group chat. I'm like, honestly, who steals a boulder?
I
And this
thought it was
guy's
the
like,
funniest shit in the world
"Ah."
because I was like, imagine if like you said me and Danny get into shenanigans, but like Danny doesn't know the shenanigans, but I call him and I go, hey, I'm hitting you up in the morning. We got something to do. He's like, all right, maybe we get into some crazy shit. Maybe we're like doing something. But I like show up and he gets in the truck and he's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, we're still in a rock.
That's messed up. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
No, you wouldn't.
thanks, Dan. See?
But just this idea of somebody still in Ruck's boulder blows my mind. Like, because it's so heavy that it takes planning, it takes people, it takes execution. There's
here's what
so
happened.
much.
A sketchy landscaper had a job where they needed a boulder. One guy's like, "Oh, I know where to get a boulder."
Ruck's yard.
That's 110% what happened.
But it takes, I don't want to say it's a crackhead because crackhead's not stealing.
No, it's not a
something out of
crackhead.
foreign-
it's a sketchy landscaper.
It's sketchy landscaper.
Sketchy
But
ways.
Jesus, like,
Well, that's well said.
I mean, I could take a poll right now, but I know none of you guys would help me out if I was like, "Hey, I need some help tonight at 4 a.m. We're going to steal a boulder out of somebody's yard." You're like, "What do you do?" That's not what
Who jumps on
and
that mission?
What is the price of this boulder? What are we doing? We're stealing a
Shane,
boulder.
It's priceless.
I mean, it's not priceless. You could buy that. You could buy a boulder.
That type of boulder is about $250 a ton. So if you went to a boulder store, you could probably get about 4 of those, 5 of them.
That's why I stole the boulder.
Well, I have this crazy theory on why Ruck has such a nice yard, and Ruck's yard always didn't look like it. I don't know if you have photos of your old yard, what it looked like before, but he had a bunch of, were they oak trees?
Oak trees, yep.
He had 3 oak trees in his yard, and now he has like all just like queen palm, big royal palms. It's
I'll
all kind of
a
palms.
medley of palms.
Medley of palms.
Medley.
But it didn't exist. And what happened?
Tropical horticulture.
So what happened
that's what I'd go
is
with.
Hurricane Charlie was coming through, and Ruck had a hurricane party. I don't know if you even had a hurricane party. I think we just showed up to your
Oh,
house.
no, we had a hurricane party.
Yeah, okay.
First, last.
Yeah. First and last hurricane party. So we're all there. We're partying on the back porch. Wind's coming in. We're kind of getting rained on, and I'm like, we're all kind of buzzed up. I'm like singing on this guitar, and I like made up this song about like Charlie.
He was taunting Charlie.
I was taunting Charlie.
Taunting.
Well,
That's
I was like,
messed
yeah,
up.
I was like, I don't care if Charlie's here. I'm going to sing my song, something like that. And then Ruck was not. I remember Ruck visually like not happy that I was like taunting this hurricane that's getting the eye's not even. The eye came right over top of us, and it's about like 75 miles away. And so I'm doing this, and then through the night, 3 of the oak trees completely came down. None luckily hit the house. I watched the one in the backyard completely get their oak is like crazy, like flexible. This oak tree, this thing's like probably 4 feet diameter of trunk, and just this thing bent and then ripped up the roots. Like roots are standing like 12 feet tall. The one in the front yard fell straight
towards the house.
Straight towards the house. We were looking out the window as it fell, and then the other tree fell. But after that, out of all the turmoil, just comes this beautiful new yard, and I like to take credit for it, and a lot of the people do. Shout out to me for singing that song about Charlie, because now you got a dope ass yard. It took a lot of probably money to buy the palms. And although a lot of them grew up,
it
but
took
like
over
an
a
effort.
month for me and Harrington. Shout out to Colin Harrington. He helped me, no joke, for a month straight chop up oak tree, like 3 huge oak trees. They were all around the house. Like we were literally caved in by oak trees. Like
It was crazy.
Do you remember in the front yard where the oak trees butted up to the street?
Yeah.
Where
Chad Morin's truck was right there.
it didn't have roots, so it pulled up the entire ground with it.
Straight up.
And it was like my whole front of my yard was like a quarter pipe, like because of the roots.
Yep.
It's pretty sweet.
Well, and then when we chopped them down and took the weight off of them, it just fell back into place.
This was 2004.
2004, Charlie. Yeah.
That's when we wake skated in the streets too.
I had my Mercedes.
No.
I had my Mercedes
That
parked out in
was-
front of your car.
That was a hurricane or 2 after that. In 2004, that year there was 3 hurricanes back to back. Charlie was the first one.
Tomatoes.
Francis. That was a crazy year of
That was
hurricanes.
a crazy year.
Hey, what was the hurricane that put y'all on the island? Can you and Shane talk about the island? Was what happened when this hurricane came through. All this Clear Lake in Orlando. A lot of the wakeboarders live on Clear Lake. Clear Lake flooded.
The
All
one
the
like 2
streets.
years ago.
All the
2 or 3
streets.
years ago.
all the streets flooded, and they were not able to get, like, you couldn't go to a store. You couldn't drive your car out of your driveway.
Danny brought me beer.
You had to, like,
Brought me beer too.
you had to pretty much canoe around, or if you
Yeah.
wanted to get around the neighborhood. Like,
Ruck-
y'all call that the island, right? Like,
I called it Ruck Island.
Ruck Island.
Because
Ruck lived
we
like
were
thir-
literally surrounded by water just around my, like, luckily it just came up like
And stopped.
to the house and like
Ruck lives
stopped.
3 houses down and on the other side of the street from me, and we had to canoe to him.
Yeah.
It was that crazy.
And it was like that for a while, too, like a week
It was
or
like
so.
5-6 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember we didn't leave the neighborhood for a long time.
Ian.
Dan Harf came
Hurricane-
through
it was
in his
Hurricane
big ass
Ian.
truck.
Oh, is that your relief, Dan? Is beer?
I had a big truck, so I was like, "What do you guys need?"
So I put up a post of Joy and I standing like, and I said stranded on Ruck Island, and Dan gives me a call and he's like, "Hey, I got my truck. I'm down the road at Nautique. Like, you guys need anything?" I'm
Yeah.
like, beer.
Beers, buddy.
Just the beer
it was-
necessities.
It was bad though. I almost was like driving in. I was like, I might need to turn around. Like, I had a big truck at the time, and
It was crazy.
I barely made it in. There.
I at the base at the bottom of my driveway, I had anywhere from 3 to 4 feet of water. Like,
Damn.
my truck couldn't get out. I have a truck too, but I couldn't get out. And I'm like right where the sewer was, so I was like at the lowest point, but it was almost up to my waist, if not at my waist. Like, it was deep.
Yeah, and you know the van's a lowrider, so it's not making it
Yeah,
through
no,
that.
that van ain't making it through that. But yeah, no, it was wild. It was like pretty. I don't want to say it's fun when that thing happens, but it sort of makes a moment where
Hurricanes
we're like
have
cruising.
hurricanes have a type of
survival instinct where you like
kind of like,
into
yeah,
it.
you feel something comes
Yeah.
alive in you that's not like,
No.
oh, hey, let's all just come over to mine.
The first to 6 to 10 hours is like, you're like, fuck, this is the worst. And then when it lasts 5 days, like by day 2, you're like, let's venture out. Let's get in the canoe. I got my waders. That was Wader Shane. Wader Shane.
And
I
you
had
know,
big waders,
some
like-
people really
Waders.
like it when like martial law kicks in. You're just like, I got to do what I got to do to defend.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little
kidding.
bit overzealous, but yeah, but that's what it kind of feels
But
like.
people love that. Do you remember Thomas
I don't
Weinecker
like
during
it. I don't like
Charlie?
it.
Thomas Weineker's just driving through people's yards in his Bronco. Like, it's
Bruh.
like, he's like, I had to.
Yeah.
I had to look around.
People love the opportunity to do what they want to do, even though it might not be
In
what
the name
they
of-
want to
in
do.
the
but
name
they're
of martial,
like, they're like, I gotta get out, and you're like, what? You don't got to go through my yard.
It's like
you know?
it's like mom. We were driving through the Winter Haven chain on the boat one night, and the storm was coming. It starts to like rain, and mom starts ripping through the canals. I'm like, mom, I don't think this is like, I don't think you could do this. She goes, no, the rainstorm's coming. This is loud. I was like,
Betty
that is not
Betty
true.
B would rip through no wake canals
allegedly
all the time.
Allegedly.
You give her a simple excuse. She is going full throttle through a tiny little canal, and it's impressive. Where you're like, the no fucks giving is out the window. She's whack, like she does it. She loves
impressive.
it. It is impressive. I got some rapid fires. You want to do some rapid fires, or you want to do some heads up? What should we do?
Let's
We'll take a
take a little pee break.
break.
All right, guys, it's time to do the Patreon Top Shelf member giveaway. This is a little thing we do for the Top Shelf Patreon members. We put your name on a wheel and we spin every episode to win all kind of unique, crazy prizes. You never know what you're going to get. This episode is a good one. Danny Harf one board. He actually hasn't said it on the episode, and this is from Danny Harf's personal one vault. This thing probably has stickers on it. He's probably wrote it, so you can put it on the wall. You can write it yourself, whatever you want to do with it. But this is a pretty sick prize coming from Danny Harf, going to be signed by him as well. A printed picture of Danny's black eye signed. We promised that at the end of the episode. So all the Top Shelf members on the spin the wheel. Let's spin this thing. Who's going to win the Danny Harf board? Let's go. All right, we spinning. Who's going to be the winner of the Danny Harf one board? Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Asher. Yeah, this is the wakeboard collector of all times. This will be a sick one to add the collection from the Bonifay Banter. He has the craziest collection of wakeboards. ever, man. He goes out of his way, researches all kind of crazy wakeboards, and he stacks it up, man. So I think that's going to live in a good home. Congratulations. One from Danny Harf and the Bonifay Banter. Congratulations, Robert. And well, let's get back to the episode. Let's get it.
I really like that.
See, me too. Me too.
I'm not completely sold on it, to tell you the truth.
I know you're not, Parks, but I tell you what, it's sticking. It is sticking. Danny doesn't even have his headphones in, man. This guy's losing it.
You know, I'm a big fan of a late night vibe.
Yeah.
I'm in.
And
I'm
that's
in.
that's a good late night cue-in, you know what I mean?
It is a very late night, like the band, like, all right, we're back from a break. Bum, bum, you know, it's good. It's
Well,
good.
I'm not sure what we were talking about before, but one thing I wanted to talk with Dan Harf about is the Thigh High Surf. What is it? Technically a surf tour, wake tour? It's an event.
So yeah, originally branded the Thigh High Surf and Wake Series was Regal and Nautique of Orlando. We're a Nautique dealer here in Orlando, Florida.
More for grassroots and stuff.
Yeah, we do a grassroots surf and wakeboard contest, and we have a lot of cool families that come out and compete. Moms, dads, kids, all surfing, wakeboarding. And honestly, I love it. It's a way for me to give back to the sport that I love. And, you know, I grew up in grassroots wakeboarding, so.
Are you the mastermind behind it? Do you start?
No, I wouldn't say I'm the mastermind. It was Jeff Hughesby, who's the owner of Regal and Nautique of Orlando and also Water Sports Central. Jeff, when he first hired me, he had the idea and told me to run with it, so I did. And Dano, who's been the announcer for the Pro Wakeboard Tour forever, and Erik Ruck's good buddy. Me, Dano, and his girlfriend Jane put on the event together.
Give a
and
shout out Dano right now.
Yeah.
Bam.
And Jane's a boss.
Bam,
Jane's
man. Hey, she gets
Jane's the boss.
Jane's a boss. Dano's the mascot. He yo-yos.
If I can give credit to anyone, it would
Jane's
be
a boss.
Yeah. If I could give credit to anyone, it would be Jane. Jane, big shout out.
Yeah, let's. I mean, she deserves a proper one.
Yeah,
Clap it
so
up.
Jane makes it happen behind the scenes, and I'm honestly like, I help with all the logistics of an actual wakeboard contest, like having the towboat and jet skis and making sure we have judges that can judge each event.
I've been to these. You've done a couple out at Lake Ronix, and then those turned out good. More people than I've ever seen out at Lake Ronix ever. Like
So,
the full tents.
honest-
Ruck was.
yeah.
I
the
jammed
time I went,
there.
yeah, Ruck jammed there.
The whole band. That was
That
so
was pretty
fun.
sick, yeah.
I actually have a good clip of that.
Usually we have about 100 people over 2 days, so 50 people
Yeah.
being pulled wakeboarding or wake surfing
That's great,
every
man.
day. Yeah, and it's so fun, and it's all good families that like love the sport. So
I feel like grassroots is like you can do high performance wakeboard contests, but I feel like so many of us grew up at like 3 event contests, or even like you were saying grassroots, and what Bill Porter did with the gravel was it
Gravel
Roots?
Tour.
Yeah, gravel tour. Man, it's such an important thing, and I think like more companies need to get behind it. And I'm super thinking it's important that what you and Dano and Jane and everyone's doing, and Jeff, it's
Yeah,
really important.
I
I went to one in Groveland right down the street just a couple weeks ago. Huge turnout, really fun, really cool, man, and the vibe's really sick there.
I think that's what like really grows the sport is when you get people young and they have fun at these things, and then they see the enthusiasm around the sport, and then they want to keep doing it instead of just going to a cable or wakeboarding at home. Once you see how many people are having fun and doing it, and you have this fun little event, like that's like what got us into like 3 event, like, you know, these little fun events. And then it's so important. And I don't think a lot of like districts or a lot of like regions focus on it enough to be like, let's throw an event for the local riders just to have fun, compete. Doesn't matter who wins, but it's fun to get a trophy.
Grassroots and all, you know, companies getting behind it. Grassroots is the best investment that, you know, every company can make in this industry.
Agreed.
Yeah.
yeah, it's so fun. Like we're actually getting ready to do the first event this weekend, and it's a Florida State Championship. So we teamed up with WWA to make it the Florida State Championship, and we have probably about 80 different riders registered, and then also doing the Nautique Masters LCQ. So we got a lot of top pros coming out to compete too. So yeah, it'll be fun. It's a cool event.
Cool.
And
that is good.
yeah, it's
Good food trucks. It's good fun.
Yeah,
it's
we
cool y'all
have-
are doing the Masters qualifier out there.
we have food trucks and we have activities for the kids. So we really try to make it like a thing that brings families into the sport, and that's our goal, is to like
Pass the handle, man.
yeah, let families have fun. And I grew up doing grassroots events from Sean Dishman, like the X Cup and Brendel Cup, and that's really an entry point to the sport. Like, you're not going to just sign up for worlds and nationals. So
Right, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
look, it created a monster right here. So look what
yeah,
grassroots can do.
you start, and I love it. It's, for me, it's a big, like, reason for me to give back to the sport that gave me so much. So yeah, I love seeing all the kids come out and the families, and that's the best part about selling boats, is that you get to meet a lot of really cool families.
That's cool, man.
Hey, you know what else is really cool about what you guys are doing? Like what Thigh High's doing, what Dano at Cornfest, Dano and Jane at Cornfest.
Cornfest is awesome.
Cornfest looks
But
sick.
I'm saying you guys are bringing back an event that keeps people there all day, gives people reasons to be engaged in what's going on. There's extracurricular activities. There's swag again. One thing,
Swag is
tying back to another question about things around the room, I was at one point just dazing off into whatever, and I realized these are all old school Surf Expo stickers that you
It's 100%.
collected
That's
around
exactly
booths.
right. That's exactly right.
100%.
So I don't totally lose my train of thought because it's easy for me to do. I'm going to go back right away into the grassroots thing. But keeping people involved and feeling a part of something is such a huge part of putting on an event that people want to come back to and people want to be involved in. Because if you're just coming to watch people, flip and spin and fucking beat each other, who fucking cares?
Yeah. No, and it's true. It's true. It's like, if you only have an event to see who the winner is, it's only one person's winning. Like, if you have an
Ruck,
event that's like to get people going and being involved and having fun with the industry, you're having the autograph signings, you're having people around, you're having all of the
After
things.
parties.
And after parties. But there's so much more that can go into an event to keep fans, other riders, families of riders, families that are there just to like keep them involved. And it doesn't take much. It takes a little bit of effort of just being like, hey, we appreciate you coming out here more than we appreciate the 1080 that was just done. Like, and that's all it is like, we are all in this together.
It's more community, and that's what you get out of grassroots, and something that's,
It
it's
is.
something
It
maybe
really
maybe
is.
professional contest can maybe kind of learn. Maybe you can
The Pro Tour
intertwine the two.
definitely
Maybe
can
like a
learn.
pro-am would be like kind of cool too. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
there's been good pro-ams. Golf,
No.
that's a really big thing in golf.
You remember
too,
the
they'd be-
Cincinnati Open?
Oh,
yeah,
I do.
that was
Cincinnati Open used to be the biggest thing that I had going in my whole life when I was,
that was sick. That was
15,
an amazing contest.
like 14, whatever it was. But it was just an open event it was everybody from pros to amateurs. And we'd all get out there.
Great pull on the Cincinnati Open.
yeah.
Cincinnati
That was
Open.
good. I did the Cincinnati.
I know. I was
Good.
gonna say. I think that's where. Well, I knew Shane because of Show Skiing, but I'm pretty sure the first time we met, and the first time I met like the Copelands, the
Yeah.
first time I
No,
met.
that's where the whole
That's where I met
community got
Ryan Wolf
together
and
before we
Carlos
went
and Matt
pro.
Staker.
And that's the importance of the events, the relationships that you build, that you still.
It's where pro riders get together before they're pro. Like, these kids get together and ride and they go, oh, that was amazing. And then 5 years later, they're now actually riding pro because of events like that, where you're like, I had so much fun. That was so cool. Like that was everything.
Oh no.
Ruck, I think like you kind of tapped. I think this is a kind of good segue into this. Like you talked about like Surf Expo, like what the community and like how that brought I mean, behind you is a sticker board where Shane and you, where everyone just walked around and got swag just because like that was cool. But I think it's like we could talk about Surf Expo for something for a minute, and it's something that doesn't exist anymore. Surf Expo was something that was. First time I went, I was 14 years old. All the companies from all the industries in surf, all the industries in swimwear, kiteboarding, anything you can imagine, wakeboarding, boats. Everyone goes to Surf Expo. We did the Wake Awards after that. Everyone would go from on a Friday night and just go, or Thursday night straight into the Wake Awards, and that doesn't exist anymore.
I remember going to Expo with like a resume. And I
had a VHS, a printed out resume.
Damn.
And my first Surf Expo was probably 96 or 97.
Looking for sponsors on the hunt.
Backpack full of VHSs and resumes.
I'm gonna go by Sage wakeboards. I'm gonna go by. that was.
But real,
yeah, no, you would roll
Sage
around and you'd be like,
wakeboards, good pull.
because Ruck used to ride for Sage. But yeah, you would go to companies that you're like, I love O'Neill, I love these people, and you just drop off your resume and a VHS tape. It was like a mixtape for.
Yeah.
An old school wakeboarder.
And Ruck, we talked about this, like the importance of like Surf Expo, and it doesn't exist anymore because there was a couple hurricanes that came through and shut down Surf Expo. They like pretty much like wrote it off, and then COVID happened, and then the next year, so all of a sudden we went 3 years almost without doing a Surf Expo, and now after COVID, I don't know what's changed like with the MO of the companies, but
it's not just COVID. It's the fact that everyone can see everything they need online.
Yeah.
And
but that's what, and you're right. That's maybe it's the new day and age, but I don't. Still, trade shows exist in in tech. It exists in snowboard. It exists in.
There's gonna be a need for it to come back.
We need a wake surf.
There's gonna be a need for it to come back for the industry, for as a community, building, but also like there is I watched this whole thing about Nike, and this is actually really interesting. And Nike, leading up into like before COVID and all this, they fired their CEO. They got this new CEO. They started freaking cutting brick and mortar shops, like all their long-term partners started going only digital,
shipping direct,
and all this shipping direct, and they just like totally kind of left like the industry that supported them behind, and they ended up realizing that is not like only, yes, that's a huge part of today, right? Selling online, selling everything, it's a huge part. But having an industry that is supported by brick and mortar, that is supported by the people in the industry, that's not just...
And the community. Like the community around the brick and mortar.
The community, the grassroots community that the brick and mortar is a part of, the grassroots community that supports all this stuff. I mean, I don't think it can ever be one facet. Digital is insanely important in every single way. Sales, marketing, whatever. But the actual tangibility of walking in someplace, holding something, having that experience.
Talking to the shop kid.
That makes you feel a part of it. I was a shop kid. I mean, think about how many people like grew up. I mean... That is a part I think that is going to make a bigger comeback because people...
It needs to, man.
People crave, you can be cut out of it, but you're going to come back to relationships. No. The world is based off of relationships.
And buy from the shop kid. If you're going in there and you see a video and you're watching videos and you're talking to the shop kid, you're actually trying on the boot and you're thinking about it, just don't go and buy that shit on from Amazon or any it's really important, I feel, to keep the whole momentum of all this going is really just supporting the brick and mortars. And if you go in there and talk to the shop kid and you get all the intel, don't take and run with that new data and just go buy elsewhere. Like really support your local
Local
shop,
shops.
man.
No, I mean, we literally just did a thing with Liquid that it was shop local thing, and it was we got Megan in there. We got Megan Ethel in there, and we just went into performance, and it was, Dan, get back in the frame. Dan's leaning, but it was. I really liked it because I was expressing. I was like, man, this was what we loved when we were getting going, and it was supporting a local shop, like a performance, and these things, and it was just a fun little video. It was just a social cut, but I was like, I don't feel like these kids, young kids, know it, because when you go into a shop, there is so much to give. Like you get so much out of it. You know?
And the cool shop kid was the fucking legend.
The legend, the best. They were the coolest.
So
like I even
with,
said,
with Grub, Grub was. We talked about everyone who worked at performance from like Chansey to Grub to Billy Benedict.
Yeah, Billy Benedict. But but there was a thing where you idolize these shop kids because they knew so much about the product you were about to buy. You loved it, and you were like, I want to get this new, whatever board. And they're like, oh, bro, you want this, but this is the new biz. Like, you want to get on this, and you're like, I want to get on that now. You know what I mean? Like, they knew this shit.
I like your morph into the hip shop kid, Shane. Yo, this is the new biz.
That was a lesson on the hip shop kid doing the upsell.
Yeah. I wish I knew better. Like he would be like, yeah, no cap, this thing slaps, whatever. But.
All right, guys, that was a good little riff on that. This is something I want to kind of get into. I was talking with Steele the other day. Steele gave me his top. I believe he gave me his top 3 wakeboard golfers right now. The current state of wakeboarding golf. And
I want my name in this thing so bad.
Wakeboarders have always played golf. Me and Dan played a lot. Like everyone plays a lot, but I feel like nowadays, like there's a lot of golfers out there, and a lot of wakeboarders are playing. A lot of the leisure is setting in. So the question is, I wanted to ask.
Well, let's ask Ruck
Danny
first. No,
Yeah. Why don't you ask me?
Ruck, how's your golf game?
On the disc golf course?
It's good.
We know you can toss the disc. You don't have a flick, but you gotta wake it back in.
My flick's coming back.
Yeah, right, dude. I've seen your flick.
You haven't come disc golfing in years because you're freaking on the golf course.
It's true. It's true.
And his swing shows. Shane
true.
has a really good swing nowadays. Shane's swings are looking
whip
really
it.
nice.
You can whip it drive.
It's about 30 yards short every time.
Shane's a golfer. Shane's officially a golfer.
All right, so let's go to the question.
So the question,
Dan,
top
and
3.
this is to Dan, not to Ruck, because Ruck, who do you think the best golfer is?
In wakeboarding?
Yeah.
Not knowing,
Not knowing anything.
Not golfing with him much.
Well,
you got 3 seconds.
I'm going to have to say Danny because I know that Danny is a badass golfer.
Danny's probably good.
No, but Steele's good.
I was going to say, and I do know that at Dishman's wedding that you and Larissa
We did.
destroyed. Hayes' daughter, Larissa Wheelis.
All right, let's get back to me and golfing. No, I'm just joking. All right, but hold on.
Shane, you just can't wait to talk about you and golfing.
So the other day I had this 80-yard. No,
I feel like I feel like part of golfing that you love is it gives you a chance to talk about you golfing.
that's all I want to talk about.
He doesn't talk about the bad
I don't
shots.
I don't care about anybody else's golf. I want to talk about how I can.
Can we give
rope and
a
drive.
shout out?
Who you gonna shout out to, D?
Hayes Willis.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Boom!
Yeah,
Hey,
100%.
Hayes is the Red Bull marketing director,
Yeah.
and he's awesome dude. His daughter is a badass golfer.
Yep.
We won a
Shout out
golf
Larissa.
tournament. Me and Larissa and Jimmy LaRich. Shout out Jim.
Yeah, her swing is crazy. You look at it, dude. It's just like I can't imagine having that good of a swing. And she's had this. Like, she's like almost 12 or 13 now, but like she's had this swing since she was like 9, 8 years old, which is pretty sick. So the question: top 3 golfers in wakeboarding. Danny Harf.
Top three.
I would say Steele.
I'm like right here.
And
Steele-
you can't put yourself in there.
Yeah, so Steele, Tony Iacone, and probably Shota, because Shota's gotten
Damn,
really good.
Steele,
Yeah.
Steele, Tony Iacone, and Shota, top 3 for Dan.
Shane, so it sounded to me
Damn, Shane.
like your name wasn't mentioned on that list.
No,
Shane, you weren't. You're
Top
you're
five.
not there.
Top 5.
Shane, but you agree, right? Like you're not better than those guys.
He's kind of thinking he might be better than at least one of them.
I'm not better than those dudes. But what about top 5?
I'll put you in my top 5.
But like truthfully,
That sounds like a pity top 5 pick.
I'm gonna say Mark and then Shane, but like I don't golf with anyone else.
yeah,
so.
I still would probably put Caton above me, and then
Caton's
there's
on a
Grubb.
wakeboarder,
Grubb's
but-
probably.
I'll fuck you up, dude. Come on now.
Parks is probably
No, Shane's got me.
on a
Shane's
good
got me
week.
nowadays.
Parks gets me on a full 18.
No,
but-
Shane's come around.
Here's my question: Chad Sharp with a right or a left hand club,
Ooh, interesting.
Can we tell a Chad Sharp golf story real quick?
please.
Okay,
This is
so
nothing I would ask more for.
I was golfing with Chad in Seattle
Yes.
with Paul O'Brien. This was early Hyperlight days. We went out there. We were hanging out in the winter, doing graphics, whatever. Me, Paul, and Chad went golfing. Chad got mad and launched his 9-iron into a pond, like a big pond. Like it landed literally in the middle of the pond. And Chad decided he rented the clubs and he wasn't going to pay for the 9-iron.
Oh shit, dude! No way.
So he strips down. He strips down to his boxers and walks out into the middle of the lake.
It wasn't deep.
No, it was like 3 feet deep the whole way.
He was lucky.
Yeah. So he walks all the way to the middle of the pond. It's like 3 feet deep. Grabs a 9-iron, walks out in his boxers, and proceeds to
Finish his round.
finish the hole with his boxers on.
And honestly, probably didn't think that was weird at all.
No, he was like,
Did he-
I'm about to pay $80 for this 9-iron I just launched in the pond.
Maybe more than that. Yeah, they'll hit him with it.
I love that. And none of that story is like when you started and you were like, let me tell a golf story from Chad Sharp. I was like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. He throws a club.
Well,
Probably
to give you a tip of the cap, Dan. I asked Steele this question. I go, Steele, who's the top 3 golfers in wakeboarding? And Steele, and I go, you can't say yourself. He goes, okay, can't say myself. He goes,
Shane.
number 1, me.
You would.
And he goes, number 2, Dan. So Steele thinks you're besides him, he put Steele out of the top. You're number 1 and Steele's mine. And he said, Tony Iacone second, Shota third. And Shane, you were actually 8th. I'm
Okay.
just joking. We didn't get down that deep. I'm just fucking
Dude,
with you.
I did.
Solid bird.
I like
Pete.
I like Steele's answer.
I did-
I think it's fair.
I did play with Shota on Mossy's birthday recently, and we were on like 17, and Steele was in the group in front of us, but he finished, so he came back, and he was right behind me, and I knew Steele was watching, and I was like, I know Steele knows golf, and I've got to rope a shot.
Hey, how's Jakey P on the old swing?
Jake is actually Jake is
surprisingly
good.
It's-
He won my birthday.
He's-
He
I
won
know.
my
That's
birthday
what
scramble.
I thought he's won that.
True dark horse.
Yeah.
Really good. Shane, get back to it. But Jake, hey, shout
But
out Jake.
no, I mean, it's actually sort of predictable. Steele was behind me. I knew I needed to rope this like 9-iron or 8-iron into the green, and I took my time, smoked a good one, and Steele, like later on that day, Steele came up to me and was like, "The swing is looking good, bud." And I was like, out of all of the wakeboarders, you don't know how much I appreciate
what a
that
nice-
from you coming from you, bud.
You ever got a hole? I came the closest I ever came to a hole in one the other
Just
day.
the other
dude.
day.
Yeah, you were at Metro West, dude. It was really
It was really
damn,
close.
man. This thing
It was-
landed. It rolled past the hole probably this at the slowest pace possible, and it was probably like a foot and a half away.
Landed in front, rolled right behind, hole's here. We got there 6 inches, 7 inches behind the hole, but on the path that it was going. It basically you were
That was
so
my
close.
chance. That was my
Basically you were
chance.
so close that it will be another like 4 or 5 years before it. Yeah.
I think you guys gave Steele way too much credit. He's my number 5.
He can't putt.
You think Steele's the 5th best golfer. So you think I'm
Love
better
that.
than
yeah,
Steele?
we didn't
I
get Danny's
love- I
list.
love
Okay,
that.
I love it. Plot twist. Dunk dunk.
Shane's better than Steele. And
What?
What?
Like-
Dan's got
What's
just
in that
cracked
juice,
another
dude?
video.
Really?
Yeah, Jesus,
Dude,
man.
still could
Let's
drive
get-
it like 320.
Steele's giving himself too much credit.
All right,
Well,
interesting take. Hot take
I
by
mean,
Danny.
you-
Hot take. Wow, dude.
You
There's
get
like-
one little viral video by chipping a marshmallow into your buddy's mouth, and you think you're the best golfer in the world, right, Dan? Yeah, that's Steele. Y'all don't see that one?
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe it didn't go that
the
viral.
marshmallow. That's all.
Well, you don't think I've seen anything on the internet? I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, no.
So Shane,
Still-
no hole-in-ones for Shane. Dan,
No.
Dan.
Oh, let's talk about Dan's. Dan's beautiful hole in
this
one.
motherfucker. Dude,
The best.
it was this. Dan got the. It was the craziest golf shot that I will ever see. Probably on TV, in real life, anything. We were playing at in Claremont. It was just me and Dan, and then we teamed up with us another twosome on the turn, hole 10, 315-yard hole in one with a driver on a par 4. I don't even know what it's called. Is that albatross or what, just hole in one? It was the most insane thing
Double eagle?
that ever happened. Dude.
Yeah, double eagle or albatross, but I don't like to talk about it. But with my witness, I feel like
Who was your witness?
Parks.
Yeah.
You're the only one? Just there?
No, me and the two other dudes that we teamed up with. So they meet we. Hey, nice to meet you, Jeff.
guys you
nice
never
to meet
knew.
you, Kevin. Yeah, whatever their names are. And then we go,
Jeff and
hey,
Kevin.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't. I'm just saying that. But that's kind of how it went. Like we met Jeff and Kevin, and then Danny like tees up, and then drills a 315-yard hole in one. Dude, that was the first shot that they've seen Danny hit. And dude, at
That
the
is
green-
legendary.
And we didn't know it went in from the top, from the tees, like it because it kind of rolled in. Like we couldn't see it actually roll in. The divot was probably like 6 feet. Just a crater.
We thought it was in the water.
Yeah, man.
We were looking in the
We didn't-
water.
You were looking in the bushes, and I saw the crater, and I walked up.
Who walked up and saw it in the hole first?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew saw the crater. I shouldn't have walked up. When I saw the crater, I should have just like let you do.
But the
moment. I
thing
feel
was,
like
I was playing with a Titleist golf ball all day that had like a logo from some random club in like California that I found.
damn. So you just some random title is the best.
So when I looked in the hole and I saw that logo, I knew it was mine.
Dude.
This brings us back to our original point that Dan capitalizes when the pressure is on.
He shows up. But hey, these two guys they go, hey man, that was a nice shot. And I go, nice shot? Nice fucking shot? That is the greatest golf shot that you will ever see. Both of you ever see with these 4 eyes. You probably won't even watch TV and see a better golf shot than that 300. I was like mad that they used the adjective of
golf
explaining
shot.
this 350-yard hole in one with a driver as a nice shot. I was like, you gotta dig deeper in some adjectives,
Yeah,
bro.
you gotta be a little bit more original than that, bud. No, that's good.
They literally were like, "Oh yeah, not bad. You really got it on there."
Dude, they should have dropped down and just, it was a wild day. I framed up the ball and stuff. Danny, when you get back, take a picture. We're going to post it. I framed up the ball, put it on a tee, and wrote 350. I tore the scorecard out from the thing. So it has the whole.
Yeah, I have the actual card from the scorecard.
Because I'm a good friend.
And then the hole in one.
All right, that's Shane. What do you got for us? You got
I got a little rapid fire question for the boys. I really like the rapid fire questions because they don't really mean anything. I can get after them real fast. I don't need very much of an answer. Looking for maybe one word, maybe a quick sentence, but I don't need you to go into details. Even if I'm asking for details, just give me.
And we've done
something.
these rapid fires, and sometimes we get off into some tangents. We're not saying that can't happen. But we're trying to
Keep it short.
We're trying to
Keep it
we're
short.
trying to stay within that 30
short.
seconds.
Okay,
kind of,
okay.
30 seconds kind of elaboration.
All right. Do I have music?
No, you don't get any.
Okay. I don't
There's no
get-
intro music for rapid fire?
Well, I did the intro. It was like, that was
Okay, that was it. That was it.
That's pretty cool.
I don't really-
Ruck. How often do you mow your yard?
In the summer, once a week. In the winter, once every 3 weeks.
I love the 2 answers. That was
Favorite thing about filming for Ronix?
I like to be honest, had an amazing wakeboarding career and loved every second of it. But I honestly like being behind the camera better because I like
Totally agree.
documenting the kids doing their thing.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm with you on that. I love being part of it, but not being the part of it.
The part. That's a great way of.
Yeah.
Nicely said, Shane.
Favorite fish song?
God, but I mean, you can't ask me that.
I am asking you that.
It is a question.
It's just one of those ones that I could go on so many things. Oh, but I will. If for any fish heads, what I'm always looking for, no matter how many times I've seen it, is a Mike's opener.
A Mike's opener.
That's it.
That's it. All right.
Shay, can I sneak one in? It's
Yeah,
similar.
go for it. Go for it.
Jerry or Trey? Jerry Garcia,
I mean,
Trey Anastasio.
what the fuck?
Yeah, these are rapid fires, man.
Rapid
You gotta
fires,
come
dude.
quick. You gotta come quick.
They're so different.
Are we going to create a lot of online hate for you? By people like, why would you not say Trey or Jerry?
No. I love Jerry, and he taught me about so much music. This is
Rapid
getting
fire.
Hey, keep in mind,
Rapid fire.
Yeah, you're not hating on one. You're just giving a real tip of the cap to the top one.
I don't think you can do it.
Did I stump him?
I think you did.
Let's move on from that one. They
right. Fair
both.
enough,
I
fair enough,
can't
fair
enough.
pick one on that. I can't pick one on that.
What do you order at Yellow Dog?
Yellow dog eats.
Hokey Pokey tacos.
Hokey Pokey Tacos. Favorite beer?
Now or my whole life?
Everything.
I used to.
Cerveza.
Yeah, I'm a Cerveza guy.
So Pacifica?
No,
Yeah, you got-
Cerveza.
No, Ruck.
I have to
Ruck,
pick?
you've already gotten out of the Jerry and Trey one. You can't get out of another one. This is like what this is about.
Okay.
You got to sack up.
Damn.
Gotta pick, man.
Modelo.
Modelo is going Modelo. All right. Favorite section?
Wakeboard section?
Wakeboard section.
Ooh.
So many random. Okay. It comes down to two. Is it?
We are stomping rock on so many of these right now.
I know
love it.
because I have so
crazy.
many
That's
different versions or thoughts.
You're not wrong
thoughts
if you say
on it.
something. You're allowed to like say, that wasn't maybe.
Okay,
my
Scotty
thing."
B. Highway Drifters.
right.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Dude, that was the banger.
Na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Okay, let's move on.
Coming down. Well. No, go ahead.
Yep.
What number am I thinking of?
7.
No.
That's 0 for 3 on the guess on that question.
No better.
Ma-
What's
ma-
next for you? Where are we going next, or what are you filming next? What are you doing next? What is next for Erik Ruck?
I just like to keep on keeping on. You know what I mean? Like
I do. Life's a garden. You got to dig
You
it.
gotta dig it.
Shane, can I
You
elaborate
gotta
on that?
dig
What,
it.
what's the next show you're going to?
Next show?
Like a concert?
Nothing big in the works.
Nothing in the horizon?
Nothing
for
big
the
in the works.
summer?
But randomly, I am film and shoot for Ronix. Obviously, I do. Yellow Dog Eats, but I just now took over Radar social media.
There we go.
Mm.
So me and Mariano, who shoots the other half of, we work together shooting wakeboarding and Radar. But now,
Yeah, I love it.
for
I
all
lo-
you
I love
water
what you
skiers
guys
out
do.
there, your favorite site is being ran by a wakeboarder.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, I love what you boys do over there. You always put out some good edits, and I constantly watch and take notes and want to, improve.
I'm
Is that you boys
excited,
do?
Ruck. I think you got good things in store.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Shane, is that it?
That was it. That was it
Shane,
for
you
Ruck.
got some rapids. You got some rapids for D.
I got some rapids for D. You want to go?
Yeah,
Want to fire?
I'm ready.
Favorite place you've gone?
Probably Tahiti, Jopu,
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
with Parks.
that's pretty good. Favorite win?
Ooh.
I would have to say the last X Games, which would have been 05.
Was that against? Is that the beach? The Rodrigo shot when I
Yeah,
was running
probably.
down the.
Yeah.
That might have been 04. Or that might have been. I think that was 04. Maybe 04.
Favorite trip with Chad /story, but you don't have to tell the story. You just have to like say what like the trip we went to. Where?
Australia, out of the pond. Ruck knows.
Rock knows.
We'll touch base on that on another time when we have you boys back.
I
on.
wanted to do an out of the pond episode with like the crew and just talk about like
so
the because I think they went to the Philippines, Australia,
Tahiti.
and then
That's so
the
crazy.
States.
And the
That was
projects,
such
yeah.
a good. I still have the Out of the Pond shirt with all you boys.
It was a
on
Billabong
I
movie
still
back
wear
in the
it.
day.
How often do you mow your yard?
I actually don't because my HOA
I knew that.
does it.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. I just wanted to ask Ruck how
Yeah.
much, and then you.
Now me and Ruck are like the opposites when it comes to yard work.
And
I'm on your side, D.
I think I know
No,
this answer too.
I respect Ruck's work.
Yeah, it's got a good yard. Favorite boat to sell?
Nautique for sure. Just because
Not company boat. Obviously, it
Oh.
would be like a Paragon or something because that's got to be a pretty
my
good commish.
favorite boat to sell 50 SAV Regal.
Boom.
Straight up.
What number am I thinking of?
I love you 1997.
It's pretty good.
I love
It's
you.
not right, but that
That
makes,
was a great
that's
guess, though.
Yeah,
1997.
that's got a.
I didn't know the number you were
backstory.
picking was going to be like a 4-digit number. It could be.
97
Could be
is a
anything.
great
Could be
year.
any number. There's no.
There's a backstory. When me and Shane were young, we shared a hotel room, and Shane woke up sleep talking, and he said, "I love you, 1987."
It's still to this day. Yeah, still to this day. Like I don't know what happened in 1997 that I loved so much, but something
What
did
was
happen.
it? What did happen in
I don't know.
97?
It was a great year. 1997, I think, was a great year. I think
It
that
was a
was
great
like
year.
pro model.
Ask Jeff
I think
Emig.
that was like where I like really felt like I was somebody. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Favorite trick I've invented.
Wait, that Shane's invented or Dan's invented?
I've invented.
Wait, dude, this is great.
Fish,
love it.
Fish brain.
Oh, I didn't invent it, but that's a pretty good
That's a
trick. I
rollerblade
did.
trick.
That's a pretty good topside soil, but no. Yeah, no, you were wrong there. That's not the best trick I've invented.
Is there a
what
right
is
or
this?
wrong answer to any of these questions, actually?
No, they're all off the dome.
I think
and
they're wide open.
Oh, how deep would the Dan Harf name go? I know you're a fourth. You just had a kid that's the fifth.
We just had the fifth.
Shout out D5.
D5. How far do you think it will go? Do you think D5 will have a D6?
I just couldn't be the one that ended at 4. So
That's true.
Exactly.
I feel like 5
But
is a good number.
But I feel like D5 is going to feel the same way whenever he starts having kids. He's going to be
I'm
like,
gonna give him the freedom to just say like, hey, you figure this out.
yeah, it's not on, but it's not on you. Like,
you
it's
think-
going to be on him.
I
Do you
mean,
think it will go?
Apparently 4, like you're traditionally you go to 5, so I had to be 5.
Yeah,
D9 rolls off the tongue, though.
yeah. I don't doubt because the family's gone on a long time.
I say at this point we keep it going.
I
Wait,
think so.
Wasn't one of your hip hop names D9?
D9.
Yeah.
D12, D9.
No.
No,
D12
no.
was you were. Everyone
You-
had a rap. We all
No,
used to
you were
freestyle back in
D9.
the
But
day.
you
really
were
horrible.
D Block.
He was D block.
D-block.
He was D block,
D-
and
and
then he did
D9.
nines, and he did really good nines, and he always made nines, so
And-
he's D9.
You were Dox Piccoli.
Elemento.
Elemento. DJ Red Eye.
DJ Red Eye. Yeah.
What was Parsons' rap name though? Because that was his DJ name.
You never had we just refer in our raps when we were talking about each other.
I think I would just be Red Eye, maybe.
Yeah.
Just red eye. All right, I like it. I figured. I think D9. I think D5 will have a D6. Think he will have to because he'll have the same, responsibility you did. You're like, maybe I'm not going to do a D5, and then you had a kid, and you're like, I got to do D5.
Yeah, I mean, if he does it, all good. I think we're good at 5, but
I
Dan,
hope
you
it goes
Dan, you
forever.
might be in the running for the most money making wakeboard trick of all time. Like if you think through the list of them, you got Dom Hurler's fucking
We talked about
Money Mob.
Money Mob. You got Kevin Henshaw's back 7. You got your toe 9.
Jimmy Lurich's heel 9.
Jimmy Lee Rich's hill 9. Dean Smith's back 7. There's
a lot.
There's a
Parks' double cabbie was in there.
So I was telling someone this the other day. It's when I did the toe 9s were new, but like Parks and Darren were doing double flips off the double up. And then I kind of think just because the 9 was a new trick at the time, like it was maybe weighted more heavily. Cause like to me, doing a double flip is gnarlier, right?
But I don't think whenever you did
Doing a double front flip is
yeah. That's
When
why no one's
fucking
ever
gnarly.
done. No one's ever done Darren.
But I
Darren
also
style
think
double
when you
front
were doing 9s, your run was backing it up because you always had to back up. You always had to have the run to contend with like it wasn't just the double up. So I feel like your runs were always good enough where Parks's were, if
a lot more reliable on my double cabbie.
Yeah, a lot more reliable, a lot more heavy on the double cabbie. But whenever you came and made a double, your 9,
so you're
then
saying
it was like
Parks was dub heavy. He was run heavy.
exactly what I'm saying, Ruck. That's exactly
what
I'm saying.
I would say that from me looking back on it, like that was the era of like Parks and Darren and those guys were doing a lot more like really based tricks, more like less handle passing and more like big air tricks. And then when me and Shane and Ruck was part of the like
Watson,
Watson, we were doing a lot more spins and mobs and like I didn't do one trick in my run that wasn't a handle pass, but then Parks and Darren were doing like S bends,
maybe one or two.
S bends, front to fakies, and that was like a big change on the judging at the time. So,
Hey, do you guys remember when I booted that huge mute mob in Fort Lauderdale?
Dude, that was the
The fact that you just interrupted Danny and stopped what we were talking about to talk about your mute mob off of
No, but it
Fort
has
Lauderdale.
to do with the changing of judging.
I'm dying. Yeah. Well, actually, Shane talked about this when we were talking about La Familia.
it-
The waves.
I don't want to. I don't want to cut off Dan, but you
It
reminded.
seems like you
was
did want to cut off Dan.
that fully reminded when you were talking about the whole switch of handle passing and not handle passing at all. That just popped into my mind.
Yeah,
that was what.
it's really good. No, I brought up with Mossy and Dan that it's like this weird momentum of whatever's happening at the time. The next riders that come in and are doing something different, whether it's more styly or more tech, will change the judging, and they'll almost adapt the tour to these people. Like when Harley was going crazy with his whatever super tech runs, and then Bob Sovin came in and did these big backside 180s and was just like, he would do tech tricks, but he also peppered in some nice like big back 180s or front 180s, whatever. It just is this constant swing of, as soon as everybody in the industry gets into doing that, then the one
So
that
you're
comes
saying
in,
judging's all based off of fads?
fads. It's all fads. It's all trends and fads. And as soon as everybody, 70 or 80% of the people are going super hard in tech, the stylish person comes in. And then as soon as everybody starts weeding towards the little super stylish stuff, this tech rider will come in and do.
But I feel that I feel like the writing's like evolved to where like guys can do both really good now. To where like
but
back,
I
maybe
think
back in the day,
I think the up and downs have gotten smaller, but that still changes where it's kind of like you go through these. Maybe last year we were super into Sam Brown's, super steezy and Ulf's big things.
Well, it's almost
then
like-
as soon as somebody comes in and does,
and it'd be nice if Shota did his big backside 180, like the biggest one he's like that's ever been done, kind of like off the wick. Like if he does one like that, like I feel like that should weigh as much as like a back 9 ish, or like
sure.
or close to it or something,
No, I totally Totes agrees.
Another quick little question. Who's the biggest athlete inspiration to y'all in outside of wakeboarding? This isn't good, and I feel like this is important. Like kind of like
I can say in my prime when I was like really loving
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. No, it was I think I got Bam Margera and Chad Muska in that early Pointless, like that early 2000s.
Jackass kind of like moment.
They were just like they were
yeah.
these individuals that were crazy and insane, but also still hung with the top pros. They weren't the best riders. They weren't like the ones winning all the contests, but they were
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was images and characters that I would just weighed in heavy on.
What about you, Rookie? What are you laughing about, Rook?
I mean, the first name that came to mind was Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson, the one that stole a shitload of
the
bases.
baseball player.
The Oakland
I love
A's.
that answer so much. I love Ricky Henderson. Wait, the biggest inspiration to you, Ruck, for your career that you've absorbed into your wakeboarding is Ricky Henderson.
You know what's crazy is Ruck's style and image. I never like if you did
He's a
like one
baseball
of those
player.
you did one of those circles where they overlap and it was like Ruck and Ricky Henderson. I don't think they've ever fucking touched, dude.
Maybe a little
like
bit.
this dude was like stealing bases and running fast. And
You don't
Ruck
know.
was-
Maybe Ruck was an old school Oakland A's fan.
Huge fan.
Huge.
And-
Imagine Jose Canseco fan too. But
no, never Jose, but
fuck that dude.
no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But I'm crying. I'm laughing.
Mark McGuire, did you like Mark McGuire?
Nope.
Just Ricky Henderson.
Well, Ricky Henderson beat Lou Brock's base stealing record,
how do you
and
know this shit?
I don't know.
Well, I think we had. I think we got Ricky Henderson's rookie card.
I think Ruck is
I
confusing
have it.
Ricky Henderson with like maybe like Ricky Gonzalez or something like that.
No,
I
I
don't
haven't.
know. Like
Okay, maybe number 2, Glenn Plake,
Okay,
the extreme skier with the mohawk.
you took a lot of inspiration from Glenn Plake.
I don't
Ricky
see it.
Henderson and Glenn Plake.
Hey,
Man,
let's just end it right there. Dude.
Wow. I would never have guessed that ever.
no, neither would have I. You could have given me a million guesses and I'd never say Ricky Henderson.
Dan, who's your biggest inspo?
I mean, I can't.
We almost got to stop after Ricky Henderson.
I can't top that.
Kelly
Like,
Slater. Like, I don't know what it is.
I know. I was about to say my answer, but I just feel like I can't.
It's gonna sound so lame next to Ricky Henderson and Glenn Plake, man. Jesus.
How do I even touch it?
I'm a child of the 80s and the 90s. I mean,
That's not even anything to do with it.
It
You just
doesn't?
picked a baseball player and a fucking snow skier
Okay,
as your
honestly-
biggest inspirations.
I would say my guy is Kelly Slater for sure. Like, what a
The
legend.
competition, I can see.
But
The
like
longevity.
Glenn Plake and Ricky Henderson,
Yeah.
like
You sound lame.
I
dude.
sound so stupid saying Kelly Slater.
yeah, I
don't
don't even
think-
want to
I don't-
say Terry A. Hawkinson anymore.
I knew yours would be Terrier.
I
You
remember
drew him on your wall.
Yeah, you're
I
a
did.
huge
I
Terry
did.
fan.
I did draw.
Loved his
portrait of it.
method. Loved his method.
He had a really good one. His turn was really good. I mean, he just kind of rewrote the book for that era of snowboarding. I feel in Subject Hawkinson. I feel like I watched like his section and it made me want to like invent tricks. It made me want to do something that like the typical person hasn't, or like a trick that hasn't been done. Like I wanted to create like new type of rotations and stuff. And I don't know. I was just like, I wanted to ride for Oakley. He was all over Oakley. Like, I don't know. It's definitely Terry.
Yeah, I could see that. And I don't. Pastrana and you were growing up in the same era and the same age, so it wouldn't be Pastrana. But I think your career and Pastrana's were pretty similar in that same of like when X Games was going and y'all were just like wanting to
We're like the same-
achieve the best at. But it's not like he was an inspiration because y'all were the same age. But y'all were at that same age of like
Just young.
just conquering.
Yeah, they were doing it at the same time. I mean, they were like
so it wasn't an inspiration, but
Parks was a Pastrana of
Oh, I
wakeboarding.
have
Yeah.
mad. I mean, if it's not Terrier, then I think Pastrana.
or
we can
Ricky
do it.
Henderson.
Or Ricky Henderson. No, yeah. If I had a podium, yeah, Ricky Henderson's definitely on it.
I love that you said Ricky Henderson. All right, that's pretty good.
All right, guys, let's jump into
Oh, are we doing it? I thought that we were almost done. I like it. We got something else to go with.
It's heads up.
Heads up, guys. Have you played Heads Up Wakeboard Edition yet? Oh,
We're gonna be so
now.
good at this.
this is going to be sweet. So we're going to play. This is Heads Up Wakeboard Edition. You know the game on your phone where you got to explain Kentucky, but you can't say the word, so you have to do that.
Never played that game.
Never played that game.
For real.
Really, Ruck?
So if I was to hold up the card on my head and it said Ricky Henderson, you would say,
Yeah. Explain to Shane how you're going to explain Ricky Henderson.
Base stealer.
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
That's how you go
that's how
right
it
there. And
goes.
if you
That's
do
good.
that, actually, you're gonna get a good little, little chime.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and if it's wrong,
Oh, that with the headphones on, that feels real
yeah, you get a good.
real rewarding.
But how about that buzzer?
But you know what? Honestly, I do have to say, you know what the
Dan's saying it. We're going to stay playing.
Yeah,
you go pee real quick.
you be back.
I like Dan. You
He'll be
just
back.
go.
She'll be back.
No, we're okay. Let's just we'll keep
What?
it going.
We can take a pause. We can take a pause.
Ooh, I like. Is that the evil intro?
It's heads up.
Yep. Bam! This is a Heads Up Wakeboard Industry Edition. It's a game that I took an established game and I changed the context of it to make it a little bit more relatable for all of us and the listeners. And it's pretty much Heads Up. Ruck, you've never played Heads Up? You were saying?
No.
Like it's a fun
Ruck,
game to where
I
they
know,
put it up.
I know the game, but
You
I've
never-
actually
you
never
actually-
played it.
You'll
I
be,
think you're
you'll,
going to
you'll
do
be
fine.
good at it.
I think you're going to do fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the teams. Me and Ruck, you and I are on a team.
Okay,
Shane and
okay.
Danny are on a team. We have a stack full of cards right here. We're going to have 30 seconds each. We're going to do, I get to go, and you get to go. Our stack's here. Your stack's here. You bastards are going down. Who wants to go first?
What's our
Y'all wanna
win?
go
What's our
first?
prize? Do we have a prize? You don't even have a prize for us tonight.
Damn it, I don't think I really do have a prize, but you know what?
I know I'm pretty confident. I don't have my wallet on me.
20 push-ups?
I'll put a $10 spot on the table right now. Winner gets 10.
I mean, I don't know if that's legal to gamble, but we're gonna do it hypothetically and allegedly.
I don't think I have
big money
10
on
on
this.
me, man.
Big money. We'll figure it out. I'll come up with a prize before.
All
the
right.
end. All right. Let's have y'all start it off.
Okay, we go now, Dan.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna get the timer ready.
No, yeah. You. Do you want you pull first, or you want me? You want me? to
No,
pull?
I think you go first.
All right, guys, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. All shuffled up. Shane, you got the dots ready. Danny's guessing. Shane's telling. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Shapes, liquid force wakeboards.
Jimmy Redmond.
Yep.
Oh, it's true.
Do I keep going?
Yeah.
He lived with Henshaw for a while. Australian kid.
Even I know this one.
BP.
Oh, I don't know if that's
That doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Keep going. 5 seconds.
He works for Current Water Sports.
Time.
So I totally get how this game works now.
I just didn't know the brand. I didn't know the. Yeah.
One. If we keep this fast, maybe we can get another round going.
How
Ruck,
how
you
long do
me.
we have?
so
That
I,
was 30 seconds.
seconds.
so I totally get
Nah,
how
I
this game
should have
works
guessed
now.
BP. Should have guessed BP. My bad. Should have said he builds stocks. He's insane. He's crazy Australian. Like, there's a lot you could have gone with.
I'm doing the hat flip.
There you go, Ruck.
Hat flip.
There we go.
All
Teammate
right.
making
All right.
adjustments. Okay, Danny, you keep it on time for me.
Ready?
You let us know when it's going. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Photographer from out west, Discovery Bay, long hair.
Rodrigo.
Yes, sir. Started Area 52, lives here in Claremont.
Kevin Henshaw.
God, this is bullshit.
German rider, smaller super ribs.
Nico.
Yep.
Damn it, dude.
We talked about this earlier. Longest jump record.
Sammy Duvall.
Bam,
Oh my
baby. What's
God.
the time?
Time.
Damn, what did we get
you guys-
there?
you
We
guys are
showed-
getting ahead of
Rocky,
yourself.
we showed up.
1, 2, 3, 4 cards.
That's not a bad start. How do you feel about that, Shane?
I got one card.
I think I gave away Sammy Duvall.
Yeah. I mean, Danny, you're manifesting
Well, he
about
actually
even
doesn't
knowing
have.
the
He
fancy.
doesn't have the longest jump anymore. At one point
No.
He did.
Yeah. I was
But
spitballing.
we all know who Sammy Duvall with the longest jump is. All right, Dan, I'm going to
220,
need you to come
baby.
in
No,
pretty
wait.
legit here.
Freddy Krueger.
We're gonna-
212,
Well, no, when he started, the first
I
time he did
believe
the
in
longest jump
us,
was
Dan.
220.
And I don't think I've beaten Parks at this game yet, so let's get after it, bud. And I know how competitive you are, so just like let's zone
Yeah,
in.
this is X Games final run. I just fell.
A lot of pressure. Dan just fell. Hey, this is what it's about. Y'all got to come back. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Hawaiian wakeboarder. He rode for Liquid Force. He was tall.
Next.
Ryan Sebring.
Phil's younger brother.
Bob.
Yeah. The guys that had the YouTube channel that I sort of said.
Redis.
No, they the winched a bunch of stuff from Texas.
Oh, Tom Fouché.
No, not Tom Fouché. They
Next.
Yeah, you know that one.
Time.
Oh man, dude, we only got one again.
All right.
Felt like I was giving good descriptions,
I-
right? Was I
should-
giving good descriptions?
I should have had Shred Town.
You
That
should have
was
had
bad,
Shred
yeah.
Town.
I can't
I
make
said
you
they
privy
shred.
to this information.
All right. So I get
Y'all
the stack.
win already, but you can go again just to show us how good you are. At the
We can
game.
do one quick last round. We're kind of flying through.
Let me do it.
These
Yeah, no,
teams
you
are
get to go.
unfair.
Yeah, you get to go. You
You're
get to
up
go.
now. You're
All
up
right,
now.
Rocky. Keep track of time. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
The best kickflip in the game.
Ben Haran.
Yep. Flies planes, hippie, started the wakeboard camp.
PJ Marks.
One of the Shred Town crew lives in Florida.
Davis Griffin. I feel like
You're
cheated
running.
out.
I think like
Repeat.
Parks wrote. I think Parks wrote these.
He
cards.
lived with Jeff and Chad.
That's time. Jeff and Chad. That got to be Brett Ike Eisenhower. Did not get that in time with throwing down on the
I feel
floor.
like that's unfair. Parks wrote those.
Yeah,
cheat
but
codes.
it's
Yeah, we
still,
might need
it's
to-
still relying on Ruck to say the right thing.
I said the right things.
You know, Rug, you were good, but like, I mean,
It's sort of
So
bullshit.
you're trying to say that this
sort of bullshit.
massive
this is just
blowout
me being.
has an asterisk
Yeah,
next
it's
to
me.
it?
It's me being competitive.
Give
You-
me another random one out of the stack and let me see if Danny can guess it. If so, then we
Super
just had a
random one.
bad. We had a bad run.
Random one thrown to Shane.
Random one.
best wake surfer in the world, and foil boarder.
Noah.
Yeah.
All right. That's a
Is that a wrap? Did y'all just
He
get burned?
hesitated
Or
a long time. He waited. It was like that's where this comes into
All right.
question.
All right.
It's like no, Danny was just a little slow with it. It's okay.
I'm gonna give y'all one round to make it up. We're gonna give y'all 1 minute. Shane, you get to explain.
How many do you
get
have?
you get to throw up. Danny, you're explaining. Or
Yeah.
no. Danny, you hold up. Shane, you explain.
Okay.
All right. This goes for a minute. One last round of
Talk
Heads
about
up,
an
wait, what is this?
asterisk.
Danny.
Wait. We ain't ready yet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
German rider does 1-footers. He's got a wonky
Felix.
Yeah.
You looked at the card.
We'll count it.
Younger brother of the cable duo. His brothers.
Gavin.
Yeah.
One.
Old school filmer, really good. Still takes pictures for Wakeboarding magazine or for the boating magazines. He throws frisbees.
Letchworth.
No, he throws
Doster.
frisbees. Yeah, Doster.
30 seconds
part of
left.
La Familia, Australian one. Australian one.
Sam Brown.
Yeah. She wakeboarded naked.
Dallas.
Yeah. Had his own little wake skate compound. Was like,
Reed Hampton.
yep. See, now we're on. Now
5
we're
seconds.
on.
5 seconds. One more.
Scott's brother.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Damn. We'll count that last one. What a good little comeback. I don't know if it's official. I think
it's a little. I mean, that's 3 to y'all's. That's 3 tries to y'all's 2. But
man, dude, this has been it's been a fun episode, boys. I don't know if there's anything else we want to get into. It's been kind of like all over the place, which we kind of like. Had a good little banter to it.
I don't think this will be the last time we have these boys in. And honestly, I enjoyed it so much. There's so much good, good fun.
We'll definitely be back.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
Should we wrap this thing up, Shane? You wanna take it away, dude?
Yeah, I want to say everybody watching, you gotta like, subscribe. We got
koozies now, dude. We got stickers coming. So if you sign up and be a Patreon member, Bonifay Banter, you're going to get a sticker pack and a koozie. And if you want to be a top shelf member, we're actually, if you are a top shelf member, we're going to have a digital wheel and we're going to spin and we're going to give away cool prizes. We actually didn't ask Danny if you wanted to give away anything, some Ronix gear or anything you're thinking, D. We can spin this away and give away the top shelf members a little prize to take away at the end. But yeah, appreciate all the support.
Join the Patreon. We'll get it going.
We can give something away. I'm in.
Maybe you got any old classic one boards? Maybe
I do,
something.
yeah.
Maybe in garage getting dusty. One of these Patreon members.
A throwback.
You can write
board.
it. You can hang it up. Whatever you want. But it's gonna be a
I'll
Harf classic.
I'll sign one from my personal collection of throwback one boards. Yeah,
Love
I
it.
got a garage full.
And maybe we'll get a picture of D's black eye, and he'll sign it for you. And maybe you get you get that board, and you get the black eye signed picture. Does that sound good to a top shelf Patreon member?
I like it. I'd take it.
Hey, don't text and walk.
Don't text and walk. Yeah. If there's anything, we usually ask the guests if there's anything you want to say before we sign off. Dan.
That would be my advice. Like, don't text and drive. Don't text and walk. Be careful out there. iPhones are a real thing.
iPhones are a real thing.
Danger.
What about you, Ruck? What's your sign off? What do you got?
I mean, tis what it is.
I love it.
All right, guys. Tis what it is, man. I love it, man. Hey,
thank you,
Erik
guys.
Ruck, Danny Harf, Shane. I love you all. Thanks for listening. This has been a hell of a fun episode, man. Love you all. Can't wait till the next one.
Thanks for having us.
Bonifay Banter, episode 4.
We'll be back.
We out.
You.